A winter storm has taken grip on the Dallas metropolitan area. Yesterday, 62 degrees. Right now, 26 degrees. And with the wind chill factor, it's about -1. Well, the tarp was on the field all morning, but it's been taken off, and in fact, pregame activities have been curtailed somewhat. It's very slick, and the footing is going to be difficult. For the Dolphins, they are not a good bad weather team. In games below freezing in their history, they've won just 3 out of 9 games.
And this is famed Texas Stadium in Irving, Texas. The traditional Thanksgiving football feast continues here with the defending Super Bowl champion Dallas Cowboys hosting the Miami Dolphins. Weather, an enormous factor today. The temperature in Dallas, 26 degrees with a strong wind, a mix of rain and sleet. The wind chill, 5 degrees above zero.
On this Thanksgiving Day at Texas Stadium, the path to the Super Bowl for these two outstanding teams is an icy one. Chill factor around 0, temperature on the field 26 degrees, sleet in this weather storm that has struck central Texas. The Dolphins and the Cowboys, and we welcome you on this Thanksgiving Day. Dick Enberg along with Bob Trumpy, 2 marquee teams, and lots of hopes being realized and dreams, and one belonged to a man almost 40 years of age, too old to play professional football. Steve DeBerg quarterbacks the Miami Dolphins today.
Dick, he was unemployed 2 weeks ago. He was in Tampa, comes to Miami. When he got off the bus this morning, all he had on was a short-sleeved shirt. He had no jacket whatsoever. But he said he comes to Miami, and he is looking at and now playing with the best offense he has ever been a part of. Now, this is the 6th team he's ever played for. One of them was San Francisco. He thinks this is better than San Francisco's offense.
Better wide receivers, he said, and he likes the way that offensive line is constructed to protect the passer. Now let's go to the Dallas Cowboys. When healthy, everyone says, hey, Super Bowl, chance to repeat the title win in January at the Rose Bowl, but not today.
Not today. They're not healthy. With Troy Aikman coming off the hamstring, trying to do what he can for the offense. Jimmy Johnson told us he encouraged Troy, throw the ball away. Don't run with it. And with the case of Emmitt Smith, he practiced yesterday in the offensive part of the practice, tried to stretch out his thigh as best he could. But in the last 4 days, 2 trainers have lived with Emmitt Smith, giving him treatment on that bruised thigh every waking moment to try to get him ready.
Cowboys won the toss and will receive. We should point out, as you can see, the snow sweeper trying to clear at least the yard lines, that anywhere there is paint, like the blue star in the center of the field, or the numbers that mark the strikes, it is very treacherous. So we'll see some slipping and sliding whenever athletes hit anything that's painted. That's rock ice. Kevin Williams, who played at the University of Miami, and Brock Marion are deep for Dallas. Marion, a rookie from Nevada, Reno, and we're underway on Stoyanovic's spinner to Williams at the 7. Gingerly moving, fumbles, and recovers his fumble at the 26-yard line. And as you said, Bob Trumpy, special teams could decide this game. Here come the Cowboys, and Troy Aikman coming back after the hamstring injury suffered 2.5 games ago. And these are the men who will protect him well today. You can be sure that's the charge from Jimmy Johnson, Tuane Newton, Stepnoski, Gogan, and Williams. The backfield for Dallas. Emmitt Smith does start. Darrell Johnston, so versatile. Irvin and Harper, brilliant outside, and Jay Novacek was led all tight ends and catches in the 90s. Williams comes in when they go 3 wide. From the 26, Aikman comes out throwing. And it's off the fingertips of Michael Irvin on the far sidelines. Defense for Miami. Cross is having another terrific year, 10.5 sacks. Klingbeil tough against the run. Golick, the ex-Eagle, Marco Coleman. Hollier replaces Grimsley, outside linebacker. Offerdahl returns. He came back actually last week. And Brian Cox, mighty tough, a Pro Bowler. Vincent and Brown on the corners. Williams and Oliver at safety. And those are the men that really are going to see the pressure. Vesky Jackson, the nickelback, because their footing so treacherous when they don't know where that receiver's going. 2nd and 10. Emmitt Smith tries that sore quadriceps muscle, and really didn't have much burst, did he? And Brian Cox celebrates the tackle.
Dick, what Dallas is trying to find out here in the initial stages is, Can Emmitt Smith carry the ball like Emmitt Smith normally can? He can fill two roles today. He can either carry the ball and be the normal Emmitt Smith, or he can be a decoy. Miami on the other side of the ball trying to figure out the same thing. Is it the real Emmitt Smith, or is it the decoy Emmitt Smith?
And if it isn't the real Smith, then they can adjust their whole defensive scheme to stop the outside receivers.
Absolutely.
And not focus on the running game. 3rd and long for Aikman. Through the fingertips of Michael Irvin again. So 2 passes, Irvin unable to pull in either. And on the first Dallas possession, 3 and out. On to kick is John Jett, who leads the NFL in net punting yardage, over 40 a kick.
Dick, already look what they're trying to do here. They're trying to, as best they possibly can, zone these outside guys. So it's difficult for Aikman to hit the big receivers on this team, Harper and Irvin. This is, neither one of these coaches know what their teams can do at this point. They're just out there guessing.
John Jett, a year ago, he was selling copying machines in Greenville, North Carolina. Talk about giving thanks. He delivers a beautiful kick, and a flag is down. Jett was hit as he delivered the ball. O.J. McDuffie, the rookie from Penn State, out of bounds, but it looks as if this is coming back, and Dallas will get a first down on the penalty, or is it running into or a personal foul? If it's a personal foul, it's a first down. If it's running into, with that good a kick, Dallas may decline the penalty. Bill Bates, the acting captain. It was running into the kicker. 5-yard penalty. So Jimmy says, hey, take the kick.
I don't blame Miami for trying to put pressure on the punter. I mean, anything you can do here to disrupt timing in the early stages of this game, Dick, is very sound coaching in my estimation.
So the Dolphins offense takes the field. Richmond Webb, a Dallas native and one of the best offensive linemen in the league. Sims, Dellenbach, Widener, and Heller, another ex-Eagle. DeBerg in his second start in Miami. Higgs had over 100 yards again rushing last week. Byers, another ex-Eagle. Fryer having a big season. Ingram, a Giant a year ago, and Keith Jackson, a tight end. 3 wides. Terry Kirby, the rookie from Virginia, into the backfield. Tony Martin, the 3rd wideout. They start at the 34-yard line. The toss to Higgs, who was drafted by the Cowboys out of Kentucky, and he gets a couple. Tony Casillas in on the stop, number 75. Tolbert, Casillas, Maryland, and Haley, the front 4 for Dallas. Haley continues to harass quarterbacks. Edwards, Ken Norton playing with a torn bicep tendon is in the middle. Darren Smith, a rookie from Miami, moving into the starting lineup early this year. Kevin Smith and Larry Brown at the corners, and Woodson and Everett at safety. 2nd and 7 into the eyes of Norton, one of the Super Bowl heroes. DeBerg's first pass, and he goes to the tight end Jackson, protecting the ball. He's hit just shy of the first down by Norton and Woodson.
One of the things the Miami Dolphins have done, they've infused a little toughness into this football team from the NFC East, picking up all of these former Philadelphia Eagles, Jackson being probably the greatest asset. And when you see short little patterns like that, that's just Don Shula and Gary Stevens experimenting here. What can we do? They'll stretch it a little more, but we start out with just a 5- or 6-yard pattern for completion.
3rd down, a yard. By DeBerg, one of the best at that, and wide open in the middle is Kirby, and he falls down, and while down, the ball is knocked free. No fumble. He was already down. Darren Smith made the tackle, and there's the field, perhaps costing Miami a touchdown. Kirby was all alone, but couldn't hold his footing.
Good play-action fake by Steve DeBerg. He's always done that throughout his career, and Kirby comes so wide open, he turns around, and then I think they call that a salt cow. But he lands on his outside edge.
Thank you, Brian Boitano. I didn't realize. 19 yards on the play. And Miami's Dolphins are in Dallas territory inside the 40-yard line.
Steve DeBerg told us last night that most teams that he's caught on at the beginning of the season, he comes to Miami, he's got to pick up this offense on the dead run. Dan Marino sits next to him in every meeting, going over every single play, so he knows as much as he can possibly absorb.
But doesn't wear any wristband with plays. He said, I want to know it. Made only one mistake last week in his first start. Has trouble setting himself and then goes long for Fryer. And Fryer skidding off the field of play. Larry Brown defending for Dallas. Tough for those defensive linemen to get a good push off the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, especially the light ones. Haley is not a particularly big guy, and he's also facing Richmond Webb, who is a very, very good pass rusher and knows how to hold and get away with it. Richmond from Dallas had to get 35 tickets for family members today. And Haley doesn't have the numbers of the pass rush this year. It's because of the bulging disc in his back, but that's a good matchup. 78-94 all day.
2nd and 10 from the Dallas 38-yard line. DeBerg has a man, and a good catch by Mark Ingram. He's used to playing in tough weather, the ex-Giant, and they'll spot that one 11 yards, first down.
And Miami's choice here at the outset is a lot of play-action fakes. You see the cornerback looking in there. Ingram does a good job of keeping his feet underneath him. Mike Ditka talked about you can't move on this field. He's right, but there is a way to run patterns in snow, and that's the short, choppy steps, keeping over your feet, not trying to stretch out too much. Ingram did a great job for a nice completion.
DeBerg, who played his college ball decades ago at San Jose State, 3 for 4 off the top of the game. And he's going to throw on first down. The middle, boy, tough catch by Keith Jackson at the 22 of Dallas. Cam Norton, still another tackle, assisted by Dixon Edwards.
I'm not sure when this happened, but when teams stopped holding up the tight end, guys like Jackson started making millions of dollars. It didn't used to be that easy, but they allow tight ends to just get down in there, and that's like a rebound underneath the basket. Jackson, with that big body, can make those catches.
5 yards on the play. 2nd and 5 at the Dallas 22. Furby and Byers behind DeBerg, who throws again. Dumps it off incomplete to Kirby, and breaking it up was Darren Smith.
Remember what he told us last night? I asked Steve, I said, look, you come in here, Steve DeBerg comes in here with a new responsibility. What's the one thing that you don't want to do? Throw the interception. Well, it almost happens here. Haley trying to get to the quarterback. DeBerg could have run for the first down. That ball bounced off Kirby's shoulder pads, and that's what you want to try to avoid. Look at the stuff coming down. There's sleet coming down here on these guys.
Meanwhile, in Miami, folks watching, mid-70s, we understand. Almost 50 degrees warmer. 3rd and 5 for DeBerg. And he has to eat it at the 27-yard line. The sack to Tony Casillas and Tony Tolbert. Casillas, who was a star at Oklahoma, Tolbert at UTEP.
What Dallas is doing here is trying twists to try to get some pressure on DeBerg, just to disrupt some of the timing. This time it works. Russell Maryland comes in there and flushes DeBerg out of the pocket, and Tolbert makes the sack.
Doug Peterson kneels inside the 35. This will be a 44-yard attempt by Stoyanovich. Well within his range, but what kind of footing will he get? Oh, my! A line drive right to Everett. And, of course, that's returnable. And I don't know why he hesitated. He might have been able to go all the way. He went out of bounds considerable time ago, but you can't see the sidelines, and Stoyanovich have to deduct points on the fall. That program, the free program, diminished somewhat by this effort.
They even cleared the spot there, but you can see his plant foot gave away immediately, and then 27 Everett wasn't sure what to do with the football. Norton out there as a lead blocker. This is a good spot, but watch his left foot. And just slid right out from underneath him. So now it appears field goals aren't going to work, at least from 44 yards.
44-yard attempt by Rye, and now Dallas with the ball, and Jimmy Johnson says, come on, Everett, this might be a great chance to score. Welcome back to Texas Stadium. The sleet continues to fall. Stoyanovich sliding on his 44-yard field goal attempt, and Dallas takes over at the 39. Emmett Smith still a tailback. Aikman complete to Alvin Harper, and Harper out of bounds at the 45. It appears that from the DeBerg series that better luck throwing the ball up the middle of the field. The wideouts, the long wides, especially as Dallas tried in the first possession, tougher to catch and control.
Dick, I think that's an excellent point, and I think the other thing we learned off the two first offensive drives is this game is, for now until the end of it, a field position football game. Coaches got to be thinking about how we can maintain good field position.
From the Dallas 46, 2nd and 3.5, and there goes Emmett Smith to a first down. Nothing wrong with that spurt by Smith with a badly bruised quadricep muscle, the front of the thigh. He thought it was broken on Sunday.
Yes. As a matter of fact, I talked to Kevin O'Neill, the trainer of the Dallas Cowboys, yesterday at practice. They discovered that Emmett Smith injured his thigh in high school, and there was a slight bit of calcification on the femur, a little raising of calcification. That added to the bleeding in the leg, and that's why it was so swollen, and they had to undergo so much extra treatment to try to get him ready.
It's the right thigh. Play action take, and a throw complete to Irvin, and then he drops it. Irvin had it for a moment. Back to Emmett Smith. He had not missed a start since a college sophomore. So durable, and a man who also doesn't fumble. With all the touches that he has this year, he's fumbled only one time.
And they play action faked Emmett Smith here to try to draw the linebackers, and Irvin with the little slant. Actually, J.B. Brown does an excellent job in coverage there, putting his bad. You got big receivers like Michael Irvin, pitches, trick outs. I think those work.
225 straight passes by Dallas quarterbacks without an interception. Nothing there for Emmett on this play. Struggles for a yard or two to the Miami 48-yard line.
Yeah, but you know, Dick, you say nothing there for Emmitt Smith, but psychologically, what that does for the Dallas Cowboys is it keeps the Miami defense spread. You've still got to respect the heart and soul of this offense, and that's Emmitt Smith.
So Smith, who has led this National Football League in rushing the last 2 years, still has designs on it, although with his injury and late reporting, missed the first 2 games. Starts today with around 750 yards rushing. Aikman dumps it off to Smith. And Smith fighting to get to the first down yardstick, takes quite a hit. Chris Green, number 42, nickelback coming up from the secondary.
Dick, to this point, Emmitt Smith looks fine. He didn't pick up the first down, but if this kid can play this football game, when they got back from Atlanta, they took him to the training room, and the first thing they did was bend his leg and keep it bent to try to have all the blood surface. They then straightened it out. They began treatment sometimes until 2 o'clock in the morning. An assistant trainer went over to his house and stayed there with Emmitt Smith. Yesterday was the first day run. He also told us, no needles. I am not injecting any part of my body to play a football game.
4th and 2 at the Miami 42. A high floater. McDuffie, the fair catch at the 24-yard line. So the Dolphins with it at the 24. No score first quarter. Oh, this part of Texas, you don't often see those fires in the hearth, but it's going to feel good today. Fans who have braved this terrible weather. Severe winter storm warnings throughout this part of Texas, central Texas. 23-yard line Miami after a short 17-yard punt by John Jeff. DeBerg to Byers. Byers first to Terry, and look at him go. He's on his way. Byers, will he be caught? Keith Byers all the way to the goal line. Is he in? Touchdown. Oh, my. 77 yards as he outraced Kevin Smith to the goal line. That is the longest run in Keith Byers' terrific career.
Excellent blocking up front. And the thing that the offensive line did was keep their feet. And then I'm shocked at Keith Byers' speed. We're talking about a 250-pound fullback, H-back, tight end, whatever you want to call him. And whoa, he got the football in. He didn't get in. The ball did. And Byers does a nice belly flop right in the end zone.
25 yards longer than his previous high career run. Keith Byers goes 77 with a 6-0 lead, and now the adventure of the extra point by Stoyanovich. He punches it through, and the Dolphins lead 7-0.
Dick, at the end of this run, and Keith Byers is going to be asking for the oxygen. Watch the football. He's got it in his left arm, takes it out, puts it in his right, and the ball goes in the end zone.
Well, Byers is known for having big and wide feet, and with his weight, perhaps on this field, he might be the best runner of all for Don Shula. Shula celebrates the early lead. One of the ex-Eagles, Keith Byers, said he grew up with dad, a Pittsburgh Pirate baseball fan. Roberto Clemente was his first hero, and Byers with an icy home run, 77 yards to give the Dolphins a 7-0 lead as Kevin Williams 85, Brock Marion 31. Two rookies wait for Stojanovich's kickoff. Considering the footing, it comes down at the 15 to Williams. Williams dragged down by Chris Singleton, and a flag is down with it. While they sort out the flag, let's go back to the touchdown run.
All right, look at the single blocking. Everybody's got a man. It's just nothing to it, and Byers comes shooting up here, and then watch the block by Keith Jackson on Charles Haley at the end. It's an absolutely push and shove job. He gets Haley down, and I'm shocked that Keith Byers can outrun Kevin Smith. That blows me away. I mean, we're talking 250 to 180, and Smith is supposed to have outstanding speed. Again, here's the isolate of one of the key blocks. Haley can't get his hands away from Keith Jackson. Byers runs right by.
You know, Jackson and Mark Ingram, Irving Fryer.
Personal foul, face mask by number 55 of the kicking team. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Well, Singleton, who made the tackle, a 15-yard penalty.
It's on Chris Singleton of the Miami Dolphins. Yeah, there you see he grabs a hold of the face mask and just spins him around.
Back to Jackson in that block. He and Ingram and Byers, they've got to bet that the one with the fewest knockdown blocks at the end of the year has to feed the rest of them. And they really take pride in their blocking. And Don Shula, even in talking about Irving Fryer yesterday, said, I have never seen a wide receiver block better than Fryer. I said, hey, Coach, that covers a lot of great years for you.
And I was going to mention that if Jackson got in that bet with Ingram and Fryer, I would take him to lose. Keith is not known as a great blocker.
Well, the Cowboys good field position after the penalty at their own 46. And Emmitt Smith will try the middle and gets about 5. Marco Coleman and others make the tackle, and it's time now to check our natural gas quarterback efficiency ratings as we move into the stretch run of this 1993 NFL season. And Steve Young, oh, what a game on Monday night against the Saints, moves into the lead with Aikman in second place. Elway, Hebert, Esiason, Marino, although out for the year, still enough throws to qualify. Kozar, the backup to Aikman, is 9th. And there's Bernie. Boy, is he happy to be down in Dallas. Quite a year of tumult for him. Smith picking his way shy of the first down at the 45 of Miami. John Offerdahl and Dwight Hollier, Miami linebackers, with a tackle. And Offerdahl so happy to be back out. He said, you know, those first 5 years I did some nice things, got to a Pro Bowl and all, but our team wasn't very good.
Yeah, he said, I had to make all the plays. Now I don't have to make the great plays. I'd love to be a part of this, and I can't stay healthy. Coming off a shoulder injury. Last week played 20 or 30 snaps. This guy is one of Steve Smith's rock hits. That is one of the hardest guys in the NFL to hit when you block.
Steve Smith, the blocking back for the Raiders. 3rd and 2, and it's Smith. And he slips and stays on his feet and appears on that second effort to be close to the first down. Hollier, the second-year backer from Carolina, in on the tackle again. Emmitt now 6 carries, 17 yards. And it appears it'll require a measurement as Ed Hockley, the referee, looks to the sidelines.
Now the deception continues. We still don't know how good or how bad Emmitt Smith is. I mean, we can't make a determination yet because this looks a lot like Emmitt Smith. He'll run 4, 5, 6 times nothing, and the next one he also might pop one out for 25 or 30 yards.
He says you won't see any 60-yarders from me, but I think I can give you the 10, 15.
Yeah.
And he gave Dallas a first down at the Miami 44. The Dolphins leading 7-0 on a startling 77-yard touchdown run by Keith Byers. So from the 44-yard line, Miami territory, Troy Aikman with a new set of downs.
You're doing a good job on that yard marker, sir. How do you know that? I'm sitting right next and I don't know where it is. You're right. I'm telling you, you're right. But I don't know how you're doing it.
I guess after almost 30 years of covering this National Football League, you know the 100 yards.
Yep.
Darrell Johnston in front of Emmitt Smith on first down. Aikman pumping and going long, going to be intercepted, but there's a flag down. Lewis Oliver has the interception, but I believe we're going to have a hold against J.B. Brown as he was grabbing Michael Irvin.
Yeah, it was a hitch and go by Irvin. J.B. Brown bought and had to just stop Irvin, and frankly, it's a good penalty. If he doesn't stop him, Aikman's going to hit him right square in the numbers, and he's going to run it in.
The 5-yard penalty, not interference, 5-yard first down.
Watch the hitch. The fake right there. J.B. Brown bites. Actually, that's very smart on J.B. Brown's part.
It was unlikely, Bob Trumpy, that Irvin on this field would have gotten to that ball. I think Oliver, had he not been held up, might have had the interception, and that's why Oliver was so upset that he lost the interception. It's a 5-yard penalty and an automatic first down at the 39 of Miami.
And there's the emotional part of the Miami Dolphins. Now, you just saw Brian Cox. This Miami Dolphin football team is so much more physical than it has been in the last 10 or 12 years, in part because of Brian Cox on the defense, a lot bigger defensive linemen. It used to be a finesse football team. It's not anymore.
On first down, Aikman dumps it off to Smith. And Smith showing good speed as he slides out of bounds at the 32-yard line. Brown and Vincent, 2 cornerbacks over there to get Smith.
Dick, I was struck yesterday when we were at Dallas's practices. You'll watch this play come right at you. And when Emmitt Smith went out to run, he came out in full pads, the new thigh boards he's wearing today to protect his thigh. He was jogging on an adjacent field to where the team was practicing. When he started jogging, the entire team stopped, turned around, looked at Emmitt. You know, they all made their own judgment as to what he looked like, but to this point, he's carrying the load.
He's the kingpin in this Dallas offensive machinery. This time, Darrell Johnston, and they chant Moose, his nickname, as he plunges to about a yard from a first down. Jeff Cross and others with a stop at the 30.
Shula likes this kid. He likes all those guys who get dirty. You know, they very seldom get headlines. We don't talk about them a lot. But he loves guys like Darrell Johnston. Had Tony Page fill the same role.
But he likes Johnson's versatility.
Yes.
That he blocks, he catches, he runs, he just does everything so well. Scott Galbraith and Jay Novacek, 2 tight ends now on 3rd and 1. And Aikman going to throw for him. Intercepted by Cox. Brian Cox with Aikman to beat. And he's caught from behind by Galbraith at the Dallas 42-yard line. What an interception by Brian Cox. What bad weather.
This is a sprint out by Dallas. Is coming right at you. The intended receiver is Harper, 80. Brian Cox plays it beautifully. Makes an excellent reception. Ball to Miami.
Only 3rd interception thrown by Dallas all year. That's what they do on Thanksgiving when you get an interception. It's first of the year.
Irvin is going to run a pick. Here's the primary receiver, and here's Brian Cox. He plays this picture perfect for the interception.
And it gives us Miami the third trip into Dallas territory. They missed the field goal, got the touchdown, and now first down from the 42. DeBerg looking long for Fryer. Oh, very close to another 6. He still has the arm at 39, doesn't he?
Yeah, you know, he said, too, that if there's one person he can thank for teaching him football was Roger Staubach. Now, in 1977, he comes out of San Jose State, and he's here from May through to September, and Roger Staubach loved his arm. He's always been able to throw the football. He said, I came out of San Jose State. All I could do was throw it. Roger taught me a lot about football, and he said, I'm forever thankful.
And Roger Staubach, one of the guests on NFL Live earlier today. Looks great. Looked like he could still get out there and lead this Dallas team. Terry Kirby runs into a stack of Cowboys after a pickup of 3. He's inside the 40-yard line. It would appear that in terms of field goals today, anything longer than outside the 20 is going to be hazardous. That you can punch the ball, but you really can't deliver that hard charge, the kicker at the ball.
Yeah, I think the first time that Stojanovic tried, he didn't clear an area big enough, as you said, Dick. 2, it might make Don Shula say, look, as opposed to a field goal here, let's pin him back to the goal line. Because, again, this is still a field position football game.
Shotgun DeBerg. He likes the shotgun. He told us that yesterday. Throws underneath. Kirby can't get away. And no first down. And now the fumble. Is it ruled a fumble? They scramble. And it's called a fumble. Dallas ball. Kirby, understandably, the rookie trying to get the first down, and the second effort led to Dallas's chance to knock it away.
And, Dick, you didn't see Don Shula complain too much. The hit by Brock Marion, and the ball does come loose. That's a good call. I don't think that his forward momentum was stopped. And now it's 2 turnovers, 1 for each team. Dallas gets it back.
James Washington, number 37, recovered for Dallas.
Well, again, a small bit to apply to the rest of this game. Don't fight for inches. Just hang on to the football, get to the ground.
Dallas starts from the 32. And it's Emmett. Throwing a lot of aquamarine uniforms after a couple yards.
And notice Chuck Klingbeil on the tackle. You would expect him to be good today.
He's from Houghton, Michigan.
Yes.
He said there's been snow up there at home for a long time already. This is just a little drizzle for him.
And his athletic career started as an ice skater. So, I mean, he is right at home here.
Big Montreal Canadian fan. His heroes were Cournoyer and Dryden and Mahavlich, not football players. Aikman to Johnston, and Moose is close to a first down at the 42. Dwight Hollier, Troy Vincent with a stop. Johnston, who played at Syracuse.
Dick, Miami's taking a chance here with the bad footing. What they're going to try to do is keep rolling these corners up, safeties out, make it difficult for these big receivers on the outside to get the ball. But Aikman hits the outlet receiver here beautifully, and that's the one thing that can work and work all day long. You see, Hollier 50 has to come from the inside to assist on the tackle with Vincent.
Out of the eye on 3rd and 1, Johnston and Emmett. It's Smith sliding to a first down just shy of the 45-yard line. We have just over 2 minutes left in the first quarter here. Irving, Texas. It has been icy and sleeting since noon today. A winter storm that has sent out hazardous forecasts throughout this part of Texas. Players slipping and sliding on this Thanksgiving Day, with one exception, Keith Byers, who rumbled 77 yards for a Miami touchdown and a 7-0 lead. 2 minutes to go in the quarter as they will measure. It appears he has plenty for the first time, but with all the yard markers obliterated, one best not guess, huh?
Maybe they ought to ask you. You've been darn good at it.
I say first down by plenty.
You're right again. You know, if you just tuned in, the tarp was on this field until an hour and a half before the game started. So this is accumulated in just about 2 hours and 15 minutes.
And as you can see, not a heavy snow. This is an ice storm. Emmitt Smith now 8 carries for 21 yards, 2.6 average, but it's just absolutely remarkable that this man, after what happened on Sunday and the pain of that injury, is still going. Play action, Aikman to Irvin. Michael Irvin. First down in Miami territory at the 45. J.B. Brown made the stop.
Told us yesterday he's a yards guy. Not interested in a lot of catches, but wants those deep receptions. Jimmy Johnson said, this is the hardest working athlete I have ever been around in my life. I've been around him for 10 years, and every year he's gotten better. This is one of the most proud individuals you will ever meet in a football uniform.
And you met Michael Irvin and his big and happy family on our NFL Live pregame show, and we had a couple of added comments from Irvin himself. He's a terrific character. Down the middle, incomplete. Off Irvin's fingertips at the 25 and almost into the arms of the Miami Dolphins' Louis Oliver.
And one of the things that Michael said to us that I love was, in a family of 17, we asked him what dinner was like around there, and he said, well, first off, Dad ate first.
His plate was filled first by Mom.
Absolutely. And then the rest of us kind of filled in.
Troy Aikman, whether certainly bothering or not bothering his throwing arm, he's throwing ropes out there. 5 for 10 to Johnston. And his feet cut out by Jarvis Williams, who played at Florida with Emmitt Smith.
Yeah, they had a big hello and how are you before the ball game. Again, excellent coverage by Miami. You got to give the Dallas Cowboys those little swing passes, those little flare passes by the running backs underneath, because they have such gifted wideouts. Harper and Irvin, you need support for the other people out there trying to cover them as best you can, and the fullback and the running back's going to be open all day long.
It's more like 3rd and 6 here as Shula sends in 3 more defensive backs, and it's Irvin underneath for a first down. Let's check it. Yes, it is Michael Irvin. Troy Vincent makes the tackle.
This is a big receiver. Michael Irvin is a big, strong receiver. And Troy Vincent is a big cornerback, but you see just a little bit of distance between the cornerback and Michael Irvin. And Irvin is, see the hands there, he absorbs that hit and finds himself open, and Aikman makes the completion.
Irvin adding yards to his lead in the NFL over Jerry Rice. End of the quarter.
Hello, I'm Nate Newton of the Dallas Cowboys. I'd like to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. And if you ain't gonna eat turkey, eat French fries, because I love them.
He does, and that's just not Thanksgiving. French fries anytime. He's the expert on French fries. He puts chili on them, he says, ketchup, all kinds of combinations. 325-pound Nate Newton. He once was over 400.
Yeah, he calls French fries the universal food. And when we talked to him about Thanksgiving, he said, man, when I grew up, we called it grubbing. And I said, what do you mean? He said, we went from house to house on Thanksgiving. It wasn't one table. It was 5 different houses we had Thanksgiving.
He's ready to go right after the game today. First down, Dallas, trailing 7-0 as we open the second quarter. Aikman well protected and dumps it off to Smith, and Smith hit immediately, no gain. Nate Newton called Thanksgiving dinner the Newton's pregame meal for Christmas. He's a delightful. The kitchen, what a nickname, the kitchen. Nate Newton.
He's been all over that offensive line. At one time was an offensive tackle, now a guard. He carries some ballast around him, but he's one of the strongest guys up front you're ever going to find.
Well, that's just a 100-pound hedge against anorexia. That's what he says. Second and 11. To Johnson. And Johnson met by Jarvis Williams, and Williams, a safety man, comes up and makes the stop at the line of scrimmage. So they're trying to go to the bigger backs on this slick footing. But not much there.
But, Dick, the only problem is what they're doing is they're getting Johnson going sideline to sideline. As you see, the
This is live. While they're playing at one end, he's trying to clear the yard stripes at the other.
Yeah. What Dallas has to do is Johnson is open, but they got to run the flare route where he's going up the field. Everything he's catching, Dick, he's going to the sideline.
Even a little man then hitting you can get you off.
Absolutely. Neutralize all the size he has.
Third down, closer to 12. Aikman looking for something big. Goes for Irvin. Knocked away at the last minute by Troy Vincent. Vincent appeared to be beaten, but on the icy conditions, you could see Irvin trying to gather his feet underneath him, and that allowed Vincent to duck in with the right hand.
This is very close, and Vincent does get that hand just in there to knock it away. You can see Michael Irvin's hands there ready to receive the football. Excellent job. Contact again at the break. Hand up to the face mask just to give Vincent a little help. Vincent has learned quickly how to play this spot in the NFL.
So on fourth down and a dozen, Cowboys noting Stoyanovic's problems with a field goal try from about this area. Go for it. No punt. Aikman down the middle. Oh, incomplete as Irvin was triple teamed, and Troy Vincent and Louis Oliver hit him simultaneously. Miami takes over on downs.
Now, Dick, I think Jimmy Johnson learned something from Miami with their field goal attempt. He says, hey, I'm not going to try a field goal here. Let's go with the best thing we can do here. Watch this hit by Oliver, who when drafted said, I'm not here to cover anybody. I'm here to loosen fillings.
The Bills and the Chiefs, that'll be the headline game on Sunday. You'll see it here on NBC, and you can bet the Chiefs are here watching today as Miami takes on the Dallas Cowboys, and any victory by those teams up in the higher echelon, the others rooting against them. Home field obviously so important heading toward the playoffs. Well, it appears pass is the call today on this field.
And it's worked. I mean, even though Louis Oliver knocked away that fourth down attempt there by Troy Aikman, there are receivers open. One of the things that happens here is the linebackers can't get back underneath coverage. So
second down and 8 at about the 34 of Miami. DeBerg and Cookie incomplete off the fingertips of Mark Ingram. Larry Brown there to cover. NFL Live on Sunday to kick off a good lineup of action. It'll be culminated by that Kansas City Buffalo game, and you'll take a look at that Buffalo Bills defense that has helped carry Marv Levy's club to 3 consecutive Super Bowls. Cornelius Bennett, Bruce Smith, Jets, New England, Raiders, Cincinnati, Cleveland, Atlanta early, Buffalo, Kansas City, Denver, Seattle, the late games. DeBerg is 5 for 9, third down, 8. Down the middle, Ingram. Still on his feet, and now it's a foot race. Ingram caught from behind at the 30-yard line by Darren Woodson. 36-yard play, and Ingram continues to come up with the big yardage catches for Miami.
Dick, Dallas had their 47 defense in, 7 defensive backs. You see Bill Bates, number 40, threatening the blitz. Watch the zip DeBerg puts on it, and then Everett and Brown missed the tackle. Washington has to finally run him down. These are big Miami receivers, just like Dallas's receivers, and a huge pickup for Miami.
Officially 35 yards. 12 minutes left in the first half, 7-0 Dolphins, and Byers' second carry after that 77-yard touchdown run in the opening quarter gets about 2 yards this time.
Oh, you got to think that a guy like Steve DeBerg on a field like this and the years of experience pays such a huge dividend. I mean, they cut the offense down for DeBerg, but he cuts it down even more. He knows how to play in this stuff because of all the years he's been in the league.
Often, though, with warm weather teams, Tampa Bay, San Francisco, now Miami. 17, his number, 17 years in the league for DeBerg. Good play action fake. Throw down the middle, incomplete. Keith Jackson was the target. Charles Haley putting the punch on DeBerg.
He was held by Norton, too. Keith Jackson was. Jackson was running the crossing pattern. He's still complaining. Ken Norton got a hold of him as he's running the the crossing pattern, and he was the intended receiver. Top of the screen. He gets the release. Now watch. Norton's on him. And he got a hold of his shirt there in the back. Got away with it.
From the Dallas 28-yard line, it's third down, a long 7. Bill Bates, extra defensive back in. DeBerg underneath. Intercepted by Bates. Right into Bates' arms. And the veteran from Tennessee gets Dallas the ball.
Terry Kirby, the fullback, didn't even turn around. Watch what happens. He's the intended receiver. He never even looks back to DeBerg. He's just walking through the line of scrimmage, hits off his helmet, and Bill Bates comes up with the interception.
The 13th of his career, a man who was out all last year with a severe knee injury. Ice on the Cranberries in Dallas today. Good news is it's lighter sleet at the moment as Dallas takes over at the 26 on the interception by Bates, and Emmitt Smith breaking tackles, but a flag is down as he's out close to the 35-yard line. Louis Oliver the stop. Back to DeBerg after the interception to the sidelines.
He's yelling at Terry Kirby. Of course, DeBerg is the new kid on the block, and at the end of this walk, look who comes up to him. He's not happy, but out of it, Marino says, wait, now cool down. Now, did you ever think you'd see Dan Marino trying to cool somebody down?
And DeBerg at 39 showing his leadership. Didn't want that to go. Now, of course, all smiles.
Yes.
He said, how could you not be happy? The one moment you think your football career is over, the next moment you're playing for a team that's talking about going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and look at Marino in there.
Penalty was against Dallas, illegal motion, nullifying a good run by Smith, and it takes it back to the 22-yard line. Aikman looking for Irvin. Instead, underneath, he goes to the tight end, Novacek, and Novacek short gain, nailed at the 25 by Brian Cox. Novacek, who has more catches in the 90s than any NFL tight end. That was his 219th.
This guy comes out of Wyoming as a Cowboy, is acquired from Phoenix and is now a Cowboy, and is a real-life Cowboy. He trains and rides cutting horses. He thinks the only thing you can ride has nothing in the back but straw in it. I mean, it's a pickup truck for life for Jay Novacek.
Pride and joy of Gothenburg, Nebraska, where he owns a big spread. That's Novacek in motion on 2nd and 12 to Smith in the flat. And he's out of bounds into the arms of the Dolphins on the near sidelines at about the 28-yard line. Be about 3rd and 8.
Dick, to this point, Troy Aikman has been very smart. He's had some opportunities to run here and has stayed in the pocket and found the outlet receiver. Now, that's not something that Troy Aikman has ever been very good at. When the first guy's not there, he likes to run out of that pocket, and he's protecting that hamstring and doing a great job of it to this point.
Harper to the right. Kevin Williams is now slotted left inside Michael Irvin. And they go underneath. Wide open is Smith. And Smith has the first down. Green gets him out of bounds at the 40-yard line. 12 yards on the pass play.
So valuable. So valuable. I mean, I think his greatest attribute after his heart is the ability he shows at the end of this play. Just with the slightest little move makes the guy miss. Very seldom do you see Emmitt Smith really hammered when he carries the ball or catches it.
Just under 10 minutes to go before the intermission. The Dolphins lead 7-0 on a 77-yard rumble by Keith Byers. Smith chopped down as he gets to the 39-yard line. Make that the 44-yard line as we try to sort out the yard stripes. Jeff Cross with the tackle, and John Offerdahl just plagued by injuries. Now putting some heat on that left hamstring.
Yeah, and that's high. You don't like to see that. Of course, coming back after that shoulder injury, he's been out for quite a while. John wants to be out there every snap, and he just can't stay healthy.
93 veteran Cliff Odom from Texas Arlington replaces him. The toss is to the rookie, Coleman Lincoln, and the big guy is to near midfield. No fumble. Lincoln Coleman is a 250-pounder from Baylor, and if you want a Thanksgiving story, you're looking at it, number 44. This summer, he was playing arena football for the Dallas Texans at $500 a game. A year ago, he was a dock worker at Home Depot for $650 an hour. Now he's making $100,000, and that is his first NFL carry.
He also played for the Dallas Colts, a semi-pro team, where he had to pay $5 to get in to play.
He's in there and gets it again. A toss to Coleman. They're using his 250 pounds and using it well. Lincoln Coleman, a first down in Miami territory at about the 35-yard line. Troy Vincent got him down.
His dad is a pressman for the Dallas Morning News. Been there for years and years and years. And I imagine he's waited for a long time to print his son's name in the paper, and he gets his first 2 NFL carries as we've got a Miami Dolphin down on the sideline. Can't pick up who it is.
Yeah, we'll wait. Might be Jarvis Williams. We see the 2. And it does appear to be Williams, 26. So there'll be a timeout as they attend to the safety man, starting safety for the Dolphins. 7-0 Miami, second quarter. Word from the sidelines, not a serious injury to Jarvis Williams. He should return. First down at the 36, Dallas, trailing 7-0. Second quarter here, Nerving, and there goes the big guy, Lincoln Coleman again. Lincoln Coleman, he said when he was 1 year old, his grandfather gave him a Dallas Cowboy helmet. He said maybe that was destiny. You talk about a dream coming true, from semi-pro to arena ball to the NFL for a guy who didn't finish his work at Baylor.
Yeah, they couldn't wipe the smile off this kid's face with a ball-peen hammer. Ever since he walked into that Dallas Cowboys training camp, started running over people, he knew he was home.
Almost 10 yards on that carry, and he has 29 yards. That's more than Emmitt Smith, who has 24 and 9 carries.
He's wearing a very famous number here, 44. Robert Newhouse, the big fullback back in the 70s when Roger Staubach was the quarterback.
He knew that. He said he's met Robert Newhouse, and Robert said, you take good care of that twin fours. A little short of the first down. So second down and short, down with which to play, and Jimmy Johnson has shown that he's not averse to a little trickery.
Yeah, and he's also already established to us that he's not going to try field goals of this length. I mean, I don't know at what point he'll try one here, but trailing 7-0, you think he's almost in 4-down area.
7:54 remaining in this first half. If you're just joining us, then tied up with a feast on this Thanksgiving holiday earlier, Dave Wanstedt's Chicago Bears. Dave Wanstedt, the former defensive coordinator for Jimmy Johnson's Super Bowl team, defeating the Lions 10-6 at Pontiac. Second and inches. And look at him rumble. Lincoln Coleman all the way to the 20-yard line. And he's not just gaining yards, he's gaining 8 to 10 a crack.
And a lot of respect. I think he also realizes, watch how he protects the football here. Both hands on it. Jimmy Johnson knows that, or he knows that if he coughs it up, he's going to be out of the game. Here's a guy who, when he played in the Arena League, bounced off all kinds of walls and caught the ball out of the net and all kinds of stuff like this. This is easy.
Averaging 9 a carry in his 4 tries. From the 20. Now Aikman guns the ball to Irvin. First down inside the 10. It'll be first and goal at the 9. Troy Vincent on the coverage.
Hey, Lincoln Coleman has changed the coverage of the Miami Dolphins here. Linebackers, watch how they hold at the line of scrimmage. 51-93. Bam. Nice lane for Troy Aikman to throw to Irvin on the outside. Coleman has had a very big effect. Again, the outside release by Irvin, squares himself over his feet. That's not bad coverage at all from Troy Vincent.
So the 4 consecutive runs by the rookie Lincoln Coleman And then the pass to Irvin. From the 9, first and goal. Dallas trying to tie it. Coleman tripped up as he gets to the 7-yard line. In fact, it was the trainer of the Dallas Cowboys, wasn't it, that saw him first. He was just taking a day off and watching arena ball.
Yeah, Kevin O'Neill was sitting in his house, and they had the TV on, and they were running this, what is this stuff, arena football? And Coleman was not only playing fullback, but you had to play both ways. So he was also a linebacker. And he talked to one of the coaches. Just look at this kid, will you? Well, he's close to 250, which made him one of the biggest guys on the field. He got his opportunity and has made the best of it.
He matriculated at Notre Dame, didn't work there, went to Baylor, and played just sparingly, didn't finish his senior year. From the 6-yard line, he powers to the 4, and it's taken a gang to bring him down. It'll be 3rd and goal from the 4. Chuck Klingbeil on the nose, number 99, the first man to hit him.
Now, I don't think you're going to see a lot of moves and finettes from Lincoln Coleman. He told us, I'm a smash mouth kind of runner as he leaves, and a guy half his number comes in. 34 leaves, 22 comes in.
Now the Cowboy fans have a new hero in Lincoln Coleman. They bring in an extra wide receiver, Kevin Williams, with Emmitt Smith. 3rd and goal. And Aikman will spend a timeout. 5:24 left in the half. 4 yards from a tie, the Dallas Cowboys.
Hi, I'm Chuck Klingbeil of Miami Dolphins. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody up in the UP.
The Upper Peninsula of Michigan, Houghton, and he told us when he was a freshman in high school, he saw his first Thanksgiving Day game in person at Pontiac, saw the Lions. His Uncle Al took him down there. So he now playing in his first Thanksgiving Day game, has Uncle Al here, flew him in to watch him play. 3rd and goal at the 4. Aikman, lots of time, touchdown. Kevin Williams, the rookie from Miami, makes it 7-6, and thanks to Lincoln Coleman's bull-like runs, the Cowboys position themselves to tie.
That drive started at Dallas's 26. That was very well done by the Dallas Cowboys.
74 yards in 12 plays. And nothing automatic about the extra point as veteran Eddie Murray comes in to kick. Novacek holds, and the game is even.
You can see Aikman hesitate here to throw it. He's waiting for the hand checking to get done. Throws it underneath the arm of a Miami Dolphin, and Kevin Williams makes the catch low. J.B. Brown was the man in coverage, and watch what happens here. It looks like Williams doesn't mind the contact, then slips in, pulls away. Aikman does a great job of hanging onto that thing and then makes the completion.
Emmitt Smith, a surprise starter for the Cowboys, considering the seriousness of his injury. There to help applaud the rookie Kevin Williams. Some thought too small at 5'9", 2nd-round pick. Jimmy Johnson remembers him well. He recruited him. His second catch to go with 2 runs for touchdowns. So he's produced 4 scores. Speaking of 4 scores, it wasn't Lincoln that got him there.
Oh, I knew you'd figure something out before this half was over.
It's just an accident. 7-7.
He says, look at there. Did you see me standing next to Emmett on Thanksgiving Day? Look at
he got in the game last week, and he said no one knew it. I came in, and I actually was in my first NFL game, and he said, must have been in commercial, because none of my family saw me.
He's telling all of it. He'll go home and tell all the boys in the hood nuts, yeah, Emmett and me are tight. We're buddies. We stand on the sideline together all the time.
So it's a new game with 5:19 left in the half. O.J. McDuffie and Mike Williams stand at the 10-yard line as Eddie Murray tries to kick some of the ice out of his cleats, and here we go. Murray, a former Lion, used to working on Thanksgiving, hits a one-hopper to Greg Beatty, the tight end, and Beatty out of bounds at about the 35-yard line. James Washington with a tackle. So now Sunday, talk about nostalgia. How about Bonanza night on NBC? theme. Relive the highlights of 14 years of Bonanza. See the stars that were on the show. If you love Bonanza, this is a 1-hour special you won't want to miss. And after an all-new Sequest, it's an all-new Bonanza movie. More than 20 years later, the legend lives again. Michael Landon Jr., Dirk Blocker star in Bonanza the Return Sunday on NBC. Yes, sir, the Cowboys. It is the 37-yard line as the bird goes to work and hands off to Higgs. And Higgs gets about 2, maybe 3. Dixon Edwards from Michigan State and Big Cat Leon Lett from Emporia State of Kansas on the tackle.
Probably a good idea for Dallas, both these teams actually, to get the biggest defensive lineman they can up there in front. With the bad footing here, Leon Lett's a hard guy to shove around. Easy to catch, though.
Leon Lett, that's right. For the rest of his life, his name and that of Don Beebe will be permanently linked. Caught in the Super Bowl. DeBerg on 2nd and 7 goes to his tight end Jackson right at the sticks, close to a first down. They're in Woodson. Ken Norton with the stop.
Well, you know, the Cowboys keep allowing Jackson off the line of scrimmage, top of the screen. Oh, that's like a 3-yard pattern. Norton comes from the outside. I think that the Dolphins can do that all day, and the Cowboys have done it with Darrell Johnston. So these are going to be very active receivers. But my suggestion is hold that tight end up a little bit. You're not going to pressure the quarterback that much today.
They are going to be just shy of the first down, 3rd and inches. You want to talk about a tough guy. How about Ken Norton? We all know his dad, the former heavyweight champion, tough man. Ken Norton is playing the rest of the year with a bicep muscle, the tendon that attaches near the elbow, totally severed. So he has a special device on his arm so he can't lift his arm. It requires surgery. He said, I'll have it after the year.
Yeah, he's also playing a new spot. Last year he was an outside linebacker. This year he's an inside linebacker and doesn't complain a bit.
And what a hit he made in the Super Bowl. That was the knockout punch on the goal line.
Kenneth Davis.
At the 47-yard line. It's hit in the backfield by Leon Lett.
Dick, he's sitting just off the shoulder of the center. You're going to see it happen, and he gets across the center's head. Dellenbach is the center, and Leon Lett, a big, strong guy. Dellenbach can't even slow him down.
Dale Hatcher, the veteran from Clemson, will punt for the first time in this half. Kevin Williams, who just scored the touchdown, inside the Dallas 20. Good snap. Hatcher, short kick. Williams, fair catch of that twister at the 22-yard line. A 33-yard punt. Now Leon Lett and the defense doing their job, stopping Miami on 3rd and inches. And now an illegal procedure call against Miami, but a short kick. You would guess Dallas will take it right where it is.
Yeah, I think also when you can catch it cleanly.
Illegal formation by the kicking team. The right side of the line was too far off the line of scrimmage. The penalty is declined. First down.
NFL Live with us live here at halftime. And the Domino Pizza halftime report will feature the smiling owner of the Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones. Not smiling so much in that commercial that debuts on our Thanksgiving Day telecast. And there they are getting ready for work. Hello, Mike Ditka. I want you to meet Bob Trumpy someday. You're over on the other side of the stadium. I'm gonna get you two guys together yet.
Please. I've been a big fan of his my entire life. Raised in Illinois, watched Ditka play tight end for the Chicago Bears in Wrigley Field. It would be my lifelong dream come true.
From the 23. Play action Aikman. Having to run, something they don't want him to do, and he slides down immediately. That's instinct taking over.
Yeah, that was to be handed off to Emmitt Smith. He could not get the ball to him, and he keeps it.
Emmett fell down. He wasn't there.
Yeah, watch Emmitt Smith when Aikman goes to hand him this ball. Emmitt has bent over from slipping, and watch how little Aikman can run. So he's done a great job to stay in this game and throw the ball as well as he has until now. And when Emmitt Smith slips in, out to Lutz. Very smart by Aikman.
And he gained a couple of yards, so it'll be second and a long 8. Aikman has thrown the ball 21 times. 14 receptions. Johnston, the move, wide open. Straight ahead, and he's out close to midfield. Out of bounds at the 45. Dallas 45. Jarvis Williams, Cliff Odom with a tackle. A 20-yard play.
Well, it's been open all day. You're going to see these two lock up. He comes out here, and when Johnston comes out of the backfield, if he just gets away from one tackler, that's all it takes. The cornerback rotates up, and again, it's the same coverage, and it's the same pattern that Johnston catches out in the flat. This time he runs right by the corner for a big gain.
7-7 tie, 2:15 left in the half. Look at the power of Emmitt Smith. He was hit right at the line of scrimmage and gains 5 yards before Chuck Klingbeil can wrap his 295 pounds around him. And we're at the 2-minute timeout. The Dolphins and the Cowboys even at 7. Michael Irvin, 1 of 17, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. He said 30-some odd people, his people, he said here, came over in vans, 4 or 5 vans, took them out to a fancy restaurant in Dallas, fed them all the biggest lobster they could find, and when the check came, $2,000, and he was reaching in looking for help, and he looked all around the table, his relatives, and what did he get?
Great lobster, Michael. Nobody paid a dime but Michael.
Irvin tells it much better.
Yes, he does.
You can be sure.
His family drove 25 hours to be here for this Thanksgiving Day game.
Irvin, who has 60 catches for the season to lead the Cowboys. 2nd down and 5. Aikman skids to a stop and then throws long, has a man, but it's almost intercepted by Louis Oliver. Michael Irvin was the intended receiver.
Well, again, they're able to get their receivers down the field outside this zone coverage of Miami, and Oliver there, actually, he should have made the interception. And J.B. Brown, look at the job that Irvin did as he went by, knocked the arm of the defender away. Oliver playing that double zone there to knock it away for. He should have had an interception. That would have been a big play for him.
So it's 3rd and 5 for Dallas. They're 6 for 10 today. And it's Smith inside. Runs into his own man. Ran right into the back of Mark Stepnoski, the center, and John Giesick, the right guard. And then Dwight Hollier finished him off. So no gain, 4th and 5, and the punting team on for Dallas. 1:41 to go. And does Miami call time? Yes.
I would think that Miami might go after this punt, Dick.
We'll see when we return. Oh, those eyes bigger and brighter into the holiday season, and heard my first Christmas carol today in the hotel, and these youngsters all thinking about that Thanksgiving dinner and month ahead to the next holiday.
Not just those youngsters, Mr. Enberg.
That's right. And Dallas and their fans looking beyond next month to late January, and as it is with Miami. John Jett to punt. Deep as O.J. McDuffie. He's turned 1 for a touchdown this year. At the 20. And down at the 23-yard line. Bill Bates was the first downfield along with Derek Gaynor. In the American Football Conference, take a look at some of the key standings. In the East, Miami and Buffalo share the best records in the NFL, and the Jets coming strong, 2 back. The AFC Western Division, Kansas City atop with Denver and the Raiders a length behind, and it'll be those 2 leaders, Kansas City and Buffalo, battling at Arrowhead on Sunday. The late game at 4 o'clock. It all begins NFL Live at 12:30. DeBerg with 1:32 remaining in the half and 2 timeouts. Gives to Higgs, and Higgs gets a couple. It's somewhat surprising in that Byers carries twice. One's 77 yards for a touchdown, that Miami hasn't gone back to the big 4.
Yeah, they're going to Higgs. They're trying to spread the defense out, but I got to tell you, Dallas's front 4 doing an excellent job of, first of all, keeping their feet. They're standing all the offensive linemen up of the Miami Dolphins. The running backs have no options to run.
Pryor to the left, Ingram to the right. Kirby in the backfield on 2nd and 8. Kirby. Leon left. From Fairhope, Alabama. Timeout called by Dallas.
Sure.
49 seconds left in the half. You never know. In this weather, a fumble could occur on any play, and you got to play those percentages.
And again, there's field position you got to also consider. Here's Leon Lett. He gets inside 69 Sims, and by the time the ball is handed off, Leon again right there to stop Kirby. See, they're keeping their feet, standing up those offensive linemen. Running backs have no options here, no place to turn.
Leon Lett from Emporia State of Kansas, an NAIA player. He was picked in the 7th round a couple of years ago by Jimmy Johnson as a project and developed into a starting player in a hurry. He's 6'6" and 292. Who was it yesterday? Don Shula was saying they acquired the veteran Tom Thayer, released by the Chicago Bears, saying, you know, he's not a real big guy. He's around 280. I'm not really a big guy. That's how times have changed.
Well, when you play against Leon Lett, yeah, he's only 6'3", 280. That's not big.
3rd down, 7.
7 defensive backs in the ball game now for Dallas.
Terry Kirby runs into James Washington, number 37. Short of the 1st down. Timeout. Dallas with 42 seconds. That's their last timeout.
Dick, Dallas has played this series beautifully. I mean, they've conserved time. They're going to give their offense at least a chance and maybe even go after the punter.
Kevin Williams, meanwhile, will drift back to return. Jimmy Johnson, we asked him about, as we did all the players, for their Thanksgiving memories, and Johnson stared at us with a blank look and said, memories? He said, that's really not my style.
And you have to admire him for admitting that. His memory is last week, yesterday, last hour.
That's right. The Atlanta loss on Sunday in a short week, and trying to get his team back on the winning track.
Dallas is setting up for a return here now. Need a good snap from Greg Beatty, 84, to the punter.
Hatcher finds a clean piece of carpet there where it's been the snow's been mowed away at the 15-yard line. And that's about where he'll deliver the ball, so trying to get a little extra footing there. His last kick was only 33 yards. This one not much better. Williams at the 40. 45. 50. He's going to go all the way. Kevin Williams, touchdown. One of the top returners in college football last year at Miami, Kevin Williams. One of his many strengths, has his 2nd touchdown today, 64 yards, and Dallas claims the lead. Well, Bob Trumpy, you predicted special teams would be key to victory today, and Dallas strikes on the punt return. Eddie Murray's try for point. 14-7 Dallas as they hit pay dirt with 27 seconds to go at the end of this 1st half.
Dick, this will look beautiful from the end zone as you see Hatcher with the punt. When the receiver catches the ball, watch how careful he is when he hangs on to it. Kevin Williams hesitates almost for a second. I got the football. There's a little holding. Parmalee misses him. And now watch the sliding start. He's going one way. Everybody else is going the other. And then he ought to get 6.5 for this, just for the finish. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes, sir.
Hey, he could play at Roland Garros on that clay, red clay, the French Open with that kind of sliding move.
The hesitation there froze the first man. And then Williams with great speed and with the bad footing. And I like this finish. but it's only available on days like this.
There is a limited value, but that's what you call coming up with a new move under the weather conditions. Jimmy Johnson calling the timeouts, looking for something big, and he gets it from the little rookie Kevin Williams. Murray, the kickoff, a line drive headed toward McDuffie, handled by Williams, gets up, 15, and down at the 17-yard line. 19 seconds to go. Jerry Jones already mic'd up, and we'll get his reaction. I'm sure Jerry's involved with a television committee, and that still isn't resolved, and we'll see how that stands. And another issue here in Dallas, fans wondering how about Troy Aikman's contract. And there are other issues as well. So stay with us at halftime. We'll get it right from the CEO head on.
Boy, has he changed this stadium. Jerry Jones has put skyboxes all over the place. This is the lap of luxury. This is the biggest living room in the entire United States. You can watch a football game in absolute comfort here.
No chances taken here by DeBerg. They'll just kneel on the final play of this first half. So Miami jumps out to a 7-0 lead on Byers' 77-yard run, and a long drive by Dallas to tie. Williams scoring on the pass, and then Kevin Williams igniting this frozen crowd with a 64-yard punt return to give Dallas a 14-7 halftime lead. We'll be back after a message from the NFL and a word from your local station.
Halftime at Texas Stadium in less than ideal conditions. Cowboys now leading the Dolphins 14-7 after the big last-minute touchdown, and we are joined now live in our booth by Cowboys owner Jerry Jones. Jerry, welcome. Just when you think you've seen everything, you get a Thanksgiving day like this one in Texas Stadium.
Well, it's great. Of course, it's unique. I don't know that it's ever happened here in Dallas, Texas, and Texas Stadium. I love that Heisman Trophy slide on the ice dome out here, so we're excited right now.
We've been talking.
You're breathing easier, I tell you. You weren't breathing so easy when you walked in here until we saw that punt return.
When we were waiting on right now, I was shaking. I said, Mike, does that happen to you a lot when these games mean as much?
Yeah, Mike shakes a lot. He and I have been wondering all fall, as have millions, how and when you will settle your long-term situation with Troy Aikman. What can you tell us about the situation with him?
Well, the only thing factual is that Troy has a 2-year contract right now, this year and next. It's in the best interest of the Cowboys and Troy to renegotiate that contract. Troy will be the quarterback of the Cowboys for as long as he's in the NFL, in my opinion. And so we're going to get it done. It's important to get it done before January 1st for him and the Cowboys. There's no issue.
Well, what about this kid, Lincoln Kennedy?
Well, first of all, big 44 weighs...
Lincoln Coleman, guys, not Lincoln Kennedy. Yes.
First of all, he weighs 250 pounds, came in with about 4 days left in training camp, really does have unique skills for a 250-pounder. And I sat down with Mike. Mike gave me so much grief about not having Emmitt Smith on this team. And I said, Mike, do you realize he makes about 2% of what Emmitt makes? And look at him run that ball.
I love it. That's your favorite player now because you only have to pay him $100,000. I love it.
Well, Mike, you always knew it was but a short step from arena football to the NFL, right?
Well, Mike, you told me, and of course, we're not taking anything away from the great skills of Emmitt Smith, but you said we both know that it can be close, but when the players and the fans know it, that's real, as far as Emmitt and Coleman.
Dick Enberg speculated toward the end of the first half as to what might be the situation between NFL owners and television networks on a future contract.
Well, of course, nothing is more important to the NFL than successful negotiations with the networks, and we know how important it is to keep the tradition of NBC, CBS, their own track. I'm excited. Our game is so exciting, brings so much as programming, and we're all so proud to be a part of it. It's going to go good, we think.
We know about NBC. Who are the other guys? Oh, never mind. I don't know if you got a chance to see it with us, but during the pregame show, a commercial aired for an athletic shoe company featuring Jerry and his team. Let's briefly take a look at the conclusion.
Where are you headed?
Super Bowl.
Get in. Hey, nice jacket.
Thanks.
Nice shoes.
Hey, what's in that?
Poking a little fun at the boss, huh?
I'm still puffed up. I wanted Jimmy's part.
Maybe next time.
One more Super Bowl, you get it.
You think so?
Right.
Well,
One more.
I'll stand out there on that dusty road all day long for a Super Bowl.
You help make it happen for him. Okay, Mike? When we return, we will hear from the always humorous Art Donovan, a member of the first NFL team to have played in Dallas. Back in 1952, they played on Thanksgiving Day against the Dallas Texans. Not the Dallas Texans who later became the Kansas City Chiefs. No, this was the team that lasted one season, later became the Baltimore Colts. They won only one game, but they did have one fascinating character on the team, Art Donovan.
It was just one big party after another. The team folded, and we went. The headquarters was Hershey, Pennsylvania, and if you're ever in Hershey, Pennsylvania in November, there's nothing to do but to eat chocolate in the daytime and drink a few beers at night, and it was unbelievable. We used to practice volleyball, hitting the football over the goalpost, and that was it. We practiced for half an hour. The coach would call us up and say, "Okay, men, we're looking too good. We're just liable to beat the Bears. Everybody in," and that was it. The morning, the afternoon of the game, we played the Bears in Akron. You're talking about with the Dallas Texans. Our head coach, Jimmy Fallon, he says, "I'm going to dispense with the customary introductions, and we're going to go out in the stands and meet them individually." So we got out on the field, about 8 or 9 guys jumped the fence and went up and shaking hands with the people. There were only 4,000. And the people, they got a big kick out of it. It was a real close game. And as I can remember, right near the end, we threw a pass, and the guy on the Bears, he knocked it down, but instead of knocking it down, he knocked it up in the air. Our end, whoever he was, he's been long gone. He caught it, and we won the ball game. And you thought we were world champs. I have to say that'd be the most memorable thing in the National Football League history, because how we beat him is beyond me. And I heard that afterwards, when the Bears left Akron by plane to go back to Chicago, they had their Thanksgiving Day dinners given to them on a plane, and Hallis went down the aisle on a plane kicking the dinners out of their laps. It must have been beautiful going back to Chicago.
George Hallis kicking Thanksgiving dinners into the airplane aisle. Is that the Papa Bear you knew?
That's it, but that wasn't turkey on those plates. It was probably groundhog.
Or crow. Let's get team reports now as the Cowboys lead 14-7, starting with O.J. and the Dolphins. Juice.
Well, talk to the Dolphins as they came out of the locker room. They said the big word is to tackle, that when the Cowboys brought in their big back, that they didn't make good tackles on them, so the coach was on their cases to make better tackles. As my family throws snowballs at me. Incidentally, Arpadal is hurt. I don't think he'll be playing in the second half. He has a bad hamstring. Will, what's happening with the Cowboys?
Well, Juice, with Jimmy Johnson come off the field, I talked to him, and he said he was going to talk all throughout the halftime to his players about not giving up the big play. He said when Keith Byers had the long run for a touchdown in the first half, they're in a defense they seldom ever use, and they wouldn't use that the rest of the game. Let's go back up to Jim and Mike.
All right, thanks very much, Juice and Will. That'll wrap things up on the halftime report. It's time for Mike and me to send it back to Dick Enberg and Bob Trumpy for the second half. Enjoy it, and happy Thanksgiving again.
Thank you, gentlemen, and both teams back on the field. Kevin Williams, one of the smallest men on the field, this icy stadium in Irving, Texas, with 2 touchdowns and a startling 64-yard touchdown on the punt return at the end of the half.
And, Dick, don't I remember early in the season, he had trouble hanging on to punts, and Jimmy Johnson took him aside and said, "Son, here we don't drop punts." Well, the key to that punt return was he looked that ball into his hands, he made the first defender miss, and then after that, the snow took over. And that was the biggest play of the half.
And how about Lincoln Coleman? I mean, you couldn't write this. No one would believe it in Hollywood. This big guy, 250 pounds, played very little college football, and have wandered around here in his native Dallas and worked odd jobs, played a little semi-pro ball. Look at him rumble. He's the man who set up the drive that tied the game for Dallas and actually outrushed the star Emmitt Smith the first half. Dallas kicks off. Miami gets it first, and this is O.J. McDuffie with some running room. 30, and still on his feet. And McDuffie, who played in some ill weather in his days with the Penn State Nittany Lions, all the way out to the 42-yard line, a 33-yard return. Scott Galbraith with the tackle as we look at the Coors Light halftime statistics. and almost 2-to-1 in possession time for Dallas. But look at the yardage, 179, 178. What you don't see, 64 yards on the punt return.
I think if there's a shocking number there, it's just 3 turnovers, because one of those turnovers was Terry Kirby not even turning around and DeBerg hitting him in the back of the head. Bill Bates comes up with the interception, so that's a pretty clean half under these conditions.
Mark Higgs gets the toss, and he's wrapped up at the 45-yard line. Charles Haley stood him up. Well, other than the Byers 77-yard TD run, Miami has now 11 carries, 22 yards.
And this one right at Haley, you see Richmond Webb on him, and when Higgs bounces back inside, Haley there to make the tackle. Dick, this game remains a field position game. Both coaches have to think about protecting the football, getting their defense as much yardage behind them as they possibly can in the second half.
And plenty at stake. Each team atop their respective division in the NFL. DeBerg slipping as he sets up, then lines one deep and caught by Mark Ingram. Under these conditions, a stunning catch, 39 yards.
Dick, what a throw by Steve DeBerg. Outstanding throw. Ingram and Fryer have made huge plays. Again, the play action fake to Higgs, but Steve DeBerg puts this beautifully over the outstretched hands of 28 Woods, and Ingram grabs it. You see coverage running with him. Man, you can't throw it any better. I don't care what the conditions are.
Ingram with 2 catches today, 85 yards now. He's had 2 big catches. Higgs, and wrapped up by Tony Casillas and Ken Norton.
Higgs is an interesting story, too. He was here in Dallas, roomed with Michael Irvin when they both came in as rookies. Said that he was the backup to Herschel Walker when Herschel Walker was here. But he said Herschel never left the field. Would not leave the field no matter what happened. And he goes to Philadelphia. Herschel shows up there. He goes to Miami, and now he's carrying the big load.
Approaching 600 yards on the season as the top rusher for the Dolphins. The ball inside the 15. DeBerg throws it away. Byers into the near flat. And by the way, Keith Byers has not caught a pass yet, and Byers has a 97-game streak of catching at least 1 ball.
Watch Keith Jackson again, a free release off the line of scrimmage. Well, Haley holds him up a little bit, but he opens up. Norton lets him go. Jackson's like, oh man, come on, you don't get many opportunities. I'm 6'4", I'm 235. You ought to be able to see me down here.
Jackson to the right side. Outside of him is McDuffie with Ingram and Fryer to the left. Shotgun on 3rd and long. Underneath to Kirby. Kirby, good move, and he's down to the 5-yard line, and that'll be good enough for a first down. Terry Kirby rattled on a tackle by James Washington.
Well, this time he looks around at the quarterback. Dallas again with the 4-man front, 7 defensive backs, and Kirby runs a little circle route. There you see all the defensive backs. They're all over the place. Puts his head down, hangs onto the football. 1st and goal Miami, it looks like to me, Dick.
At the 5-yard line. Trailing 14-7. A very important drive for Don Shula's team to come out of that locker room and try to strike, get back into the game. They've run on 8 straight first downs, have the Dolphins, and they figure to here on 1st and goal. It's Byers, and they finally get him going sideways, and that's where his momentum ends after a 2-yard gain. Casillas was there first.
Interesting formation there. They had Higgs blocking for Keith Byers. 21 in front of 41. Very unusual. And Higgy, when he lines up behind Keith Byers, he's a short little guy, and Byers is so tall he's got to kind of offset a little bit to see the line of scrimmage and also the snap when they're in the I formation. This time they're in what we used to call opposite.
Ingram left and Fryer right. It's Byers caught in the backfield. Charging through is Charles Haley. And Darren Smith to clean it up. Big loss back to the 10-yard line.
Byers was very, very late off the ball. Haley gets on the outside.
It's just so tough to run wide on this field. The good yardage is being made straight ahead.
So now Byers comes out. Kirby comes back in, and the 7 defensive backs are in again now for the Dallas defense. Look for a Kirby reception.
3rd and goal. McDuffie, but he's wrapped up shy of the goal line. Stopped at the 2 by Bill Bates.
What's he do here?
Larry Brown helping out on the tackle, and in comes the field goal unit. Stoyanovich with what would amount to an extra point. He missed a 44-yard attempt at the start of the game when he slipped badly and just kicked a little low-line drive.
But he got some good luck here, Dick. It's going to be placed right on the 10-yard line, which has been cleared off.
So a 20-yard field goal for Stoyanovich. Good snap. And the kick is there. Miami comes out of the locker room and drives the length of the field, settles for a short field goal. Dallas by 4. Well, it's not turkey, but you have to make do.
That's a 4-quarter pretzel right there.
14-10. The Cowboys lead cut to 4 on that 5-minute 65-yard drive by Miami. Stoyanovich with a 20-yard field goal, and now the kickoff, a sidewinder. Watch out, Kevin Williams. He has both Dallas touchdowns. And Dolphins wrap him up at about the 27-yard line. Tonight on this Thanksgiving, NBC presents a special television celebration. A blockbuster comedy, Home Alone, starring Macaulay Culkin, then singing sensation Mariah Carey in her first network television special. Home Alone, Mariah Carey, a great way for your entire family to spend Thanksgiving together with us on NBC tonight. Dallas on first down in the first half, averaged 4.3 yards. 9 passes, 6 rushes. Take to Emmett. Aikman to the sidelines and off the mark to Michael Irvin, covered by Troy Vincent.
I think the operative part of what you just said was fake to Emmett. He's back out there. He has not had a big game. He has remained the threat. And his replacement, Lincoln Coleman, can't wait for Emmett to take a breather on the sideline.
The Smiths may be the Cadillacs, but they've got a Lincoln in the garage, don't they? And he really came out rumbling in that second quarter. Ignited Dallas, down 7-0 at the time. Aikman down the middle. Incomplete. Open was Irvin. Ball was low, and a little tussle between Klingbeil and a man trying to block him, Kevin Cogan. Cogan from Washington is 6'7" and 319. He says what he's thankful for is being able to beat up somebody every Sunday and not go to jail for it. That tells you that lineman's mentality.
Actually, that's more of a defensive lineman's mentality. But here's the matchup right here. Let's see what happens. You see Klingbeil comes on the game, and whoa, Logan pushes him right into the quarterback.
Aikman batted at the line of scrimmage and almost intercepted by Craig Vesey. Brian Cox got a hand on it, and Vesey, the former Steeler, almost picked up a free score.
It was going to be a delay right across the line of scrimmage. Looked like it was going to be to, was it Emmitt Smith? I couldn't really pick up the number, but Brian Cox puts a hit on Troy Aikman. Troy appears to be all right, but it is first down.
It was Cross putting on the pressure. Then it was batted at the line of scrimmage almost to VC, and so Jet punts for the third time. McDuffie at the 35 at the Miami end. No one's hit a spiral yet. That one a dying spiral, and McDuffie dives across the 40 to the 42-yard line. Veteran Bates there to cover, along with former Raider Elvis Patterson. 14-10 Cowpokes. We're back, and we showed you the Klingbeil-Gogan match that led to something even more important.
Watch what happens when Klingbeil makes contact with the left leg. Aikman gets up grabbing his hamstring, so Bernie Kosar is warming up on the sideline. We don't know if there's a serious pull, but Aikman has his jacket on the Dallas sideline.
On the 41-yard line, DeBerg off a fake. Throws incomplete. That should be interference. Larry Brown, yes, hit him too soon. Mark Ingram had his arms pinned before the ball arrived. You can see that sleet falling more heavily now.
Yeah, it's not snow, it is sleet. And again, the throwing power of Steve DeBerg at 39+ years old. cannot be stated too much here as you see the interference call. He has done a wonderful job. That ball in this temperature is like a rock. He's got a big hand, a strong arm, and you'll watch the interference. Ingram keeps his feet underneath him. Yeah, before the ball is there. I think that's a very good call.
15 yards. Ball at the 44 of Dallas. 14-10 Cowboys. 9:24 left in the third quarter. That long arm fake by DeBerg, and wide open is Byers. And Byers extends his pass catch mark to 98 consecutive games, and he needs just one more for 400 in his career.
12 yards on that pickup, and again, you mentioned the play action fake really held the Dallas Cowboys at the line of scrimmage, and I think he'll be open the rest of the game too. We've seen Dallas throw to Daryl Johnson and almost the same stuff.
First down, 33-yard line. Hicks knocked off his feet on a solid tackle by Darren Woodson, the second-year safety from Arizona State.
That last bounce that Higgs had to make, it should be coming right at you. That last bounce outside the one right here, that gave the defensive back the chance to get up there and cut his legs out from underneath him. And Miami's continued to try to run outside, had very little success inside except for the one run by Keith Byers.
Woodson developing into a top secondary principal for Jimmy Johnson. Ball at the 30. DeBerg hit from behind. Incomplete is the call. No fumble. Although Richmond Webb trying to corral it back at the 45. Tony Tolbert from UTEP was the man who hit him from the blind side.
Tolbert comes from the top of the screen. Good coverage downfield. Gets inside Heller, 73 of the Miami Dolphins, and is able to wrestle Steve DeBerg to the ground. And yeah, watch Tolbert on Heller. An inside rush. Big, powerful pass rushers this Dallas Cowboy football team has.
And Lett was there to fly swat the pass attempt. DeBerg is 11 for 19. Third and long. It's the Byers wide open again, and Byers is to the 20-yard line. First down, Miami. Larry Brown got him out of bounds.
And Dick, the small things that make a team successful. Mark Ingram, he could have made a block, but he avoided making the block right at the end of this play, because Ingram, if he makes this block, it would have been a block in the back. See him walk away? It keeps the play. It's a first down.
And the 400th career catch for Byers. He and John L. Williams, the only NFL players who have caught 50 or more as running backs, 50 or more passes each of the last 5 years, and apparently going to do it again. Byers skating to the line of scrimmage, and 4 Cowboys denied. Veteran Jim Jeffcoat is one of them.
Well, receiving has been the key today, hasn't it? 71 on one carry on the 82 yards rushing. But when Miami got him, that took the pressure away from Keith Jackson. Now, how do you rotate to those two inside guys? Do you cover Jackson or do you cover Byers?
He said he wanted to stay in Philadelphia, but the message went out when Reggie White wasn't signed, went on to Green Bay. He said, well, maybe I better look seriously at Miami. Into the end zone, incomplete. That was Irving Pryor trying to break free of Kevin Smith. Don Shula. Thanksgiving Day, 1962, one of the memorable games in NFL history. Remember when the Lions, well, you old-timers like me remember when the Lions beat the Green Bay Packers and Vince Lombardi. Lombardi's team would go on 14-1. Alex Karras and Darius McCord and Roger Brown sacking Bart Starr 11 times. It was Shula, the defensive scheme of Shula, who designed that and led to a head coaching job the next year in Baltimore.
That worked, didn't it?
Third down. DeBerg. Intercepted. What a catch by Brock Merriam, the rookie from Nevada, Reno. In this weather, he speared that rock cleanly.
Well, I don't blame Steve DeBerg for throwing this ball. This is a rocket set trips himself, and you're right, he picks it right out of the air. Huge turnover in favor of Dallas.
Marion's first interception of the season. Happy Thanksgiving, Dallas. They deny the Dolphins, who are going for the lead score.
Brock Marion on the sideline. A heck of an interception. Not an easy catch in any set of circumstances. Watch here. This is the guy that should get it. This is where the interception takes place. Here's Marion. Watch the job that he does. But O.J. McDuffie on the outside on the delay is open. That may have been Steve DeVer's first mistake today.
On a dry field in 80 degrees, that would have been a terrific interception. Much less 26 and sleeting. From the 15, then Dallas maintaining a 4-point edge. And here comes Lincoln Coleman. And he barrels out to the 27-yard line. Coleman just eating up icy chunks, 10 yards a pop.
Nothing to this, just straight ahead. Johnston, the lead blocker, gets a shoulder on 51. Cox, helmet to helmet. He puts Louis Oliver out. I mean, out on the field.
224 pounds, Oliver, and it was just like a little heavy snowball off the shoulder pads.
Just like the dasher boards in arena football. Big deal. I mean, you could see helmet to helmet, and when Louis Oliver, when his body hits the ground, you can tell that he's unconscious. Oh, look. I mean, he absolutely... Watch what happens here. You're going to see it come right. You're going to see it come right here. Watch Oliver come in, and after the collision, when he starts going to the ground, you know he's out. There is no mistaking it. His arms don't support him. Watch, wham! Now watch Oliver. Don't watch Coleman. Face down. I don't mean to laugh. I don't mean to laugh.
But you did.
Oliver's up. Oliver's up.
That's the football player in you.
Yep.
As long as you're okay. That was a head-on collision, and it was just as if Lincoln Coleman said, hey, they didn't hit any harder. With the Dallas, was it the Stars? Who were they? The Colts or something in the semi-pro?
I think it was the Dallas Texans in the Arena League,
but the semi-pro.
It was the Dallas Colts in the semi-pro league where he had to pay to get in to play.
Got no money.
Wash his own uniform.
14-10, 6:18 left in the third quarter. First down across the 25. Aikman back in at quarterback. Now to the 30-yard line goes Lincoln Coleman. Chuck Klingbeil makes the stop. Well, Aikman may have had a tuck on that injured hamstring, but not serious enough to take him out.
You know, he told us, too, when we talked to him, he said, I've always been very tight-muscled. Never had great flexibility. That's Bernie Kosar on the sideline. He was warming up there, but Aikman and his back problems and the surgery, there are people that believe a pulled hamstring is inevitable after back surgery, especially for professional athletes.
And they get down low on the big 250-pounder, and he gains only 2. Now, Bernie Kosar said that we asked him about learning a whole new system so quickly in the crash course, and he said he carried a mini novel on his wrist.
Yeah, this has been a crazy 10 days. He was almost with Miami.
He has a home. In fact, his wife, Babette, is now at their home, only 10 minutes from the Miami Dolphin training facility.
Yeah, right down the street from Dan Marino, as a matter of fact.
And by the way, happy birthday to Bernie. He's 30 years old today. And while we're at it, Joe DiMaggio. Happy birthday, Joltin' Joe, 79 in New York City. Aikman on third down. Emmitt Smith has the first down as he runs through J.B. Brown up to the 39. This is one tough football player, Emmitt Smith. The fact he is playing and delivering. How many men would not have answered the call to duty today with what he is?
With the swelling that he had, with the lack of mobility that he had every right to tell his teammates, hey, you got to do it alone today. He would not give into it.
Franchise player has become part of the NFL terminology. This is a franchise, capital F, franchise player. Aikman lots of time, and there's Coleman. He's to the 49-yard line, and now he can say to his folks over turkey tonight, First rush and my first pass catch on Thanksgiving Day nationwide.
Did you see me? Was I there? A play action fake. Looked like Novacek was the primary receiver again. Aikman doing a great job of looking around. Odom, 93, finally there to make the tackle. Yeah, for this kid's background, I mean, some kids come into the NFL off the cover of Sports Illustrated, and some of them come off the loading dock of various department stores, and Lincoln Coleman is one of them.
And he gets 10 yards, first down, $100,000 a year. That's pocket change for some of the multimillionaires in sport, but for this man, Lincoln Coleman, that is Fort Knox.
And you know what? Regardless of the outcome of this game, when they sit down and watch this film, they'll have to drag that kid out of that room. He is going to watch every single play in super slow motion.
Let's say hello to his grandchildren right now, because he's going to be playing it for them about 40 years. Hello, grandkids of Lincoln Coleman. Flag down, and Coleman, who shows good agility as well for a big guy, leaps to midfield, but a flag down by the head linesman. Currently against Miami.
Offside by the defense, the right defensive end. 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
You know, we're kind of documenting Lincoln Coleman here. He's not the first guy to come out of nowhere to have an impact on the Dallas Cowboys on a Thanksgiving Day game. Don't I remember a kid named Clint Longley?
Yeah, the quarterback who saved a big victory for Dallas in their heyday with Roger Staubach, and Longley took over and rallied the team. But he at least was someone out of a college program that although a free agent, as I recall, was some known factor. The kid didn't play much ball at all. Long one by Aikman. Broken up and flag down Alvin Harper, and that flag could go either way. Harper was pulling at J.B. Brown more than Brown trying to grab at Harper. And that's the way it's going to go, offensive interference.
This ball was in the air a long time, so there was a lot of contact between Brown and Harper. You see Harper's arm, the right arm, pushing away a little bit, and the flag is thrown about right there when his arm pulls down on J.B. Brown, and it is against the Dallas Cowboys.
Pass interference by the offense, number 80. 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Harper, at the start of this year, guaranteed he'd be in the Pro Bowl, joining the likes of Irvin and Bullet Bob Hayes, Tony Hill, Drew Pearson here in Dallas as wide receivers, and he has taken quantum leaps as a receiver. Started in the very first game of the year against Washington when he had a career game, 5 catches for 140 yards and a couple of touchdowns.
7'4" high jumper, mother, a tremendous track athlete at Florida A&M when she was young.
Almost made the '64 Olympic team, his mother. Underneath the Daryl Johnston. And this is good weather for a Moose. And he's into about the 44 of Miami, about 7 on the play. Odom and Cox with a tackle.
And you know, the big factors today have been Keith Byers, Daryl Johnston, the big-footed, wide-footed, heavy-bodied athletes who can keep their feet, still run, and Lincoln Coleman, can't leave him out. They've had big games today.
Second down and 2, 13 yards on the play. Emmitt Smith back in. Emmitt Smith denied the 40, stopped at the 41.5, so it'll be third down and about a yard and a half. Marco Coleman in on the tackle. Marco, one of many athletes, and it's nice to see the athletes in all sports answering the obligations to society, who's delivered turkeys to needy families back in his hometown of Dayton, Ohio, as well as down the Miami area.
Marco goes home every week, too. Lives his mama home in Atlanta. And every time he gets time off, he heads back to Atlanta. I'm sure he'll be heading there for Thanksgiving sometime this weekend.
They must have the yardsticks in the wrong place because now they're calling it a first down. Delay of game against Dallas.
What happened there, Dick? I agree with you.
The yardsticks were on the 40, and they got to the 41.5, and now it's first down at the 41. So perhaps the snow and sleet adding to that confusion.
I guess we can allow the officials that. That's the end of the yard marker. That's 10 yards. That was a very interesting mark.
Yeah, the Elves are bigger this year, aren't they? It'll be first down after the 5-yard delay of game at the 48. 1:49 left in the third. 14-10 Dallas. Aikman underneath to Darrell Johnston, tackled immediately by Dwight Hollier. A gain of about 3.
This drive started at the 15-yard line of the Dallas Cowboys. We've had some interesting drives throughout this game, even with the bad weather. And neither team giving up totally what they came into the game thinking they could do. Throwing the underneath stuff has worked all day.
Jimmy Johnson from Port Arthur, Texas. They have named a street, a boulevard after Jimmy down in his hometown. Second down. Aikman lifts it off and then hits Johnston. And Johnston caught by an ankle. Hollier gets him down at the 29. That'll be close to a first down.
He has had a big game today for the Dallas Cowboys. As Don Shula said, he warned us last night. He likes his versatility, can block. This comes very close to going the distance, Dick. You see no one there, and Hollier makes a saving tackle. If Hollier doesn't get him on the ground, nobody else does.
It is a first down inside the 30. DJ with 7 catches now. 14-10. Novacek and Galba, 2 tight ends in the game. And the give to Lincoln Coleman, and for once Miami stuffs the aspiring young Coleman from Baylor University. It's a good day for Dallas kids. He's from Dallas, went to high school here. Kevin Williams is a Dallas product with 2 Cowboy touchdowns for Jimmy Johnson. As it ticks away the end of 3 in Irving, Texas. Dallas 14, Miami 10. Back after these messages from your local station. With Bob Trumpy, Dick Enberg, welcome back to Texas Stadium. That's Scott Mitchell, whose left shoulder dislocated his pitching arm. But the good news is they feel that Mitchell will be able to start throwing, Don Shula told us, in a couple of weeks. So he should be ready for Miami the end of December when Buffalo comes in for what already looks to be a very critical game in the AFC East. Meanwhile, we go to the 4th, 14, Miami 10, Dallas on the march inside the 35. And Aikman, the second receiver, is Johnston, but couldn't quite hit him. And a flag is down.
Well, I don't know why.
The secondary.
That thing was thrown way out of bounds.
Against
the offense.
Dallas. Well, on this field, I think everyone's kind of grappling to maintain balance, and you're going to get more of the shove and hold on both sides. Alvin Harper was nearest the flag.
But that ball was thrown 10 yards out of bounds.
Pass interference by the offense, number 80. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
See if we can pick it up. 80 on J.B. Brown, 37. These guys have been hand fighting all day long.
Yeah, but you know, Alvin Harper really has an excuse. You know where he went to high school? Where? Frost-free Florida. It just isn't fair for a kid from frost-free Florida to have to play in this environment.
Oh, Mr. Enberg.
40-yard line, second down. Big yardage for Aikman. Down the middle, incomplete. Troy Vincent covering the skidding Alvin Harper, or no, it's Michael Irvin. No flag. Jimmy Johnson certainly wanted one. The 50-year-old Johnson showing his spirit. You know, Johnson, we were figuring out, you know, it's frost-proof, is it? Not frost-free? Well, frost-proof then.
We get the point, though.
But John Francis, our producer, who knows more than all of us put together, is going to make us not stretch a story. Johnson, to stretch a story, is after Shula's record. All-time coaching wins. He is. Aikman, third down, dumps it off underneath to Emmett. Having trouble with his footing, gets to the 34. That'll bring up fourth down, and they're well out of field goal range.
Wait a minute. Johnson is after Don Shula's victories record.
Slingshot Schneiderman figured it out. If Johnson wins 10 more games per season every year, he will have as many wins as Shula in the year 2021. And he'll be 78 years old. And according to Johnson, if he's still there, Steve DeBerg will be his quarterback. Steve will only be 67.
Oh, well, then we'll be there to broadcast it, right?
That's if Shula doesn't win anymore. You know, Shula's going to be going for not only this year, but plenty more.
2021.
Well, it's, you know, time to reflect on Thanksgiving, and it's time to look ahead.
Yes, really.
So Jet in a 14-10 game, 14 minutes to go. Taking from the 49, and they may just take the delay. It's fourth down. They weren't trying for a 5-yard offside. It's fourth down and 20.
Yeah, what difference does 5 yards make in this particular instance? And he's got good footing, too. They cleared the hash.
Miami declines anyway. It's O.J. McDuffie. So finding the path. You can almost dictate where the players are going to stand on this day.
But I would think if you're the punter of Dallas now, you kick it into the snow. You make McDuffie go one way or the other. Maybe you can get a turnover.
Yeah, it's Tom Landry Lane right down the middle of Irving, Texas State. Best kick of the day, a spiral that's going to be all the way into the end zone. Great effort by Brock Marion trying to down it. 34, but only 14 that time out. He's only 31, but he's got a place reserved in Canton, Ohio. Dan Marino. He will not be able to play the rest of the year, regardless of how that Achilles comes around. He's on injured reserve, cannot play regardless of what happens to Miami going into and through the playoffs. They start at the 20, trailing 14-10, 13 and a half minutes to go. And DeBerg is sacked. Casillas was there first, and Jeff Cote finished him off. The second sack of the game for Dallas.
Steve DeBerg last night told us that Keith Jackson, the tight end, has a complete option route. He thought was very unusual. Here's Jeff Cote right here. He's waiting on Jackson to run his option route at the bottom of the screen. Look where he's looking. And Jeff Cote gets inside Richmond Webb for the sack, and a big loss.
Jeff Cote, the veteran from Arizona State, his fourth of the year. He leads Dallas in sacks, and there's Jackson's pass tag.
And you see Norton with excellent coverage.
DeBerg gunning to Jackson, incomplete. And James Washington covering, and DeBerg slow getting up. You wonder, DeBerg at 39, almost 40, 17 years in the league, if you counted up all the times, not just that he's been sacked, that he's been hit. It must be an incredible total.
And Dick, I don't think he wants to know what that number is. He is not interested in whatever that number is. Again, it's the same thing. Jeff Cote, a helmet right in the ribs.
Ball at the 11-yard line. Doug Peterson from Northeast Louisiana. Same school that sent Stan Humphries to the NFL. Is the backup. Third and long, and a floater, a wobbler that almost hit the umpire. It was deflected by Charles Haley, and Dallas is going to get great field position.
Charles Haley on the outside pass rush, and the power move gets his arm up on DeBerg's arm. Gets him right on the sleeve. DeBerg can't follow through, and you're right. Dallas should have great field position.
Haley only has 3 sacks, but he has 27 pressures this year. Kevin Williams, his touchdown on a punt return at the end of the first half, the difference in the game.
Oh, he's got room.
He gets it at midfield. 45-40. Almost. there was only one man to beat, and that was the kicker. 48-yard kick, 16 on the return. Chris Singleton saved a touchdown. 12:45 remaining in the fourth quarter. 14-10 Dallas, and with Kevin Williams' punt return to the 34-yard line. Dallas a 4-point lead, looking for a touchdown that could make it very difficult on Miami. Smith stumbles for a couple. Smith appeared in the offseason on the Phil Donahue show. Did you see that one?
No, I didn't. I missed that one.
Single Millionaire Studs Looking for Love. And Smith said after the fact, they didn't tell me what the show was about.
Yeah, right, sure. He's a single multimillionaire. He's leaving tomorrow for Pensacola. They have Thanksgiving with the family down there in Florida.
13 for 36 today, a 3-yard average for Smith, well under this kind of production, but his backup, Lincoln Coleman, was unable to assist those numbers. J.B. Brown reaching in. Good play on Michael Irvin. Brown from Maryland. He leads the Dolphins with 3 interceptions this year.
And, you know, of the 2 cornerbacks, Troy Vincent gets the most attention, considered the best coverage man. But J.B. Brown today, the little grab of the shirt there. You know, if you don't pull it off the shoulder pads, they don't throw the flag. But Michael Irvin has been tied up with J.B. Brown most of the afternoon.
James Harold Brown. Third down and 7. Emmett Smith, Brian Cox. Well, what a job by Brian Cox. You've got someone as elusive as you can try to tackle in this league, and Cox keeping his feet underneath himself, his jersey torn. Saved the first down.
Yeah, you can see that he's shadowing Emmett Smith, too. Follows him right out here. Keeps his shoulders square to Emmett Smith. Then uses the sideline for assistance. J.B. Brown also gets him, and it's 4th down here. And are they going for it? Yeah, they're going for it. Again, playing the field position game, Dick.
It's 4th and 5, a long 5. Caught by Kevin Williams, but lost his footing, and with it, are they saying no catch? No, they caught the ball.
No,
Kevin Williams.
Yeah.
But
no first down.
4th, and that would bring up, he was shy of the first down, obviously, and the change of possession on downs.
But what it does is it gives Dallas's defense 5 more yards to defend. So good choice by Jimmy Johnson.
Missed by a yard. Miami down by 4. Plenty of time left. Well, from our president, Dick Ebersol, John Faratis, our coordinating producer of football, Tom Roy, our executive producer, our director today, John Gonzalez, all the men and women who celebrate their holiday with you. NBC Sports, a happy Thanksgiving. Steve DeBerg, and the Dolphins go to work at the 25-yard line, trailing 14-10. Mark Higgs, couple is best, and a good tackle by Godfrey Miles, getting some duty at linebacker along with Darren Woodson. Well, Don Shula and the backup quarterback. He's picked older guys. Usually Bob Greasy all his starts, but when needed, Earl Morrall came in and led the Dolphins to a Super Bowl. And David Woodley at 40 starts. Another gray beard. Don Strock came in 13-6 as a backup. Backup Steve DeBerg on 2nd down. Underneath the Byers, and he's got running room. Byers into Dallas territory to the 45-yard line. Ken Norton drags him down. 28 more yards for the former Eagle star.
The 2 biggest plays Miami has had all day long have come at the hands of Keith Byers. He's the outlet receiver. It's a zone coverage, it looks like. And Brown can't get him down, and then it's the left arm of Ken Norton. Another big play by Keith Byers. The big guys in the backfield have had the biggest effect today for both teams.
At the 46-yard line, first down Miami, trailing by 4. 10 minutes to go. Underneath, wide open is Kirby. And Kirby gets the block. He's to the 20, a Dallas. First down, Miami. 26 more. Miles and Smith make the tackle.
Now, you know, maybe the Dallas Cowboys showed the Miami Dolphins what to do here. Let's just throw to the backside of the backfield. That's what Dallas has been doing. And you see everybody stop there. Both Woodson and Norton can't get up to speed to make the tackle, and then Kirby actually slips.
Kirby with 4 catches today, 38 on the season for the rookie from Virginia. And Jimmy Johnson trying to spur this Cowboy defense. They spotted at the 21-yard line. Kirby protecting the ball, runs into the pile and loses yardage. Chad Hennings, a great star at the Air Force Academy, flew a tank buster Warthog 45 relief missions during the Persian Gulf crisis. Academic All-America. Hennings at 27 in his second year in the NFL.
He didn't fly the Warthog at that size and weight. He's put on about 40 pounds since he was in that A-10.
But the thing about Jimmy Johnson, he does alternate his defensive linemen. He works them all in there. He's got 7, 8 defensive linemen. They all play. Hennings in the middle now. 2nd and 12. Play action for DeBerg. He throws. No one there. Mark Ingram, the closest receiver. Well covered by Kevin Smith. And Tony Tolbert pressuring DeBerg. Well, we talked about the starting quarterbacks and the reserves. Well, Dan Marino, 154 consecutive starts, never missed a game as a pro, and other than the 3 strike games. Scott Mitchell, one young man in the Shula history book, came in 3-1, and then they're right back to the old-timer, Steve DeBerg. And the backups have done extraordinarily well. DeBerg underneath to Kirby, a juggling catch shy of the first down. He's inside the 15. See the Cowboys pointing to the icy mark.
Well, that again was the Dallas 4-7 defense in the back out of the backfield. I think Shula's making his decision here. How much do we go? How far? How far, he's saying.
Looks to be a good yard.
Well, they just did Miami a favor here. The officials are taking time out to measure, and it'll give Don Shula and his staff just a couple of seconds to collect their thoughts as to what they're going to do here.
29-8. That's a mark of why Shula is one of the brilliant football minds and will go down arguably as the greatest coach ever.
I agree. You know, Jimmy Johnson said, "Oh, that's a good 2 yards. That's a good 2 yards that they've got to make." But Jimmy Johnson said the sign of a good coach was a team that did not turn the ball over and was seldom penalized. And he said that's Don Shula, and it's always been the Miami Dolphins.
And Johnson studied Shula well while at the University of Miami. Would go to and his assistants especially, would go to the Dolphin practices and pick their brain.
They're going to kick a field goal here.
Stoyanovich out of Doug Peterson's hold from what looks to be outside the 21. 31-yard field goal attempt by Stoyanovich, who has missed one when he slipped from 44, made the short one from 20. This to cut the lead to 14-13. Well done. 7:58 remains here in Irving, and the Miami deficit is down to 1. Into the eyes of Kevin Williams, a Dallas native, on this kickoff, and it's his punt return with seconds left in the first half. 64 yards for a touchdown. That is the difference in the game. Miami pulling to 14-13. Just under 8 minutes to go. Kick by Stoyanovich that goes to Williams at the 7. 20, 25, 30, and he's all the way to the 40. Fumbles, but he was down. No fumble. Recovered by Bernie Parmalee, but he was down. A 32-yard return, and Kevin Williams seems to be running in a different league on this icy stuff. This is the end of the half. He carefully embraced the punt, made a couple of quick moves, caught the Dolphins sliding one way while he cut the other. And untouched. 27 seconds left. That made it 14-7. And then the artistic celebration, the slide.
The thing on kicks is if you can keep going north to south, goal line to goal line, You're in a lot better shape than those defenders, Dick.
They give him progress to the 38-yard line. Aikman to Johnston, tackled by Hollier after a yard gain. Dwight Hollier, who says his all-time favorite Buffalo Bills and O.J. Simpson.
Yes, yes. Going back to North Carolina to get a master's degree in psychology. And, of course, this is his first game at outside linebacker, replacing John Grimsley, who was an inside linebacker.
Replaced Offerdahl earlier in the year. Second down, about 8.5. Aikman to Johnston again. And this time he's corralled by J.B. Brown and Vesky Jackson.
That's got to be 9 or 10 for Darrell today.
9 catches for Johnston. Gives him 36 for the year.
So Darrell Johnston, Lincoln Kennedy for Coleman, excuse me, Lincoln Coleman for the Dallas Cowboys. But Lincoln Kennedy appreciates the plug. He's an offensive tackle, a little bigger. And Keith Byers from Miami, the big factors today offensively for these two teams.
Very Classic has not played. Third down and 6. Aikman underneath again to Johnson. He's got the first down. He belts into the 48 of Miami. That's good for the first down. Brian Cox, 51, made the tackle, and the Cowboys continue to go.
And I'll tell you what, watch what Johnston does. Just a little circle route. And the defenders, you know, they've got people behind them they got to worry about. Johnston just comes up underneath. What a great play this has been all day long for the Dallas Cowboys. And it's a play you can use in perfect weather. You don't have to just use it when it's snowing, Dick.
And the clock continues to run. That's the enemy of the Dolphins. First down at the 49 of Miami. Emmett Smith hit first by Craig Vesey and then secured by Cox.
Well, Don Shula made a big decision there, taking the 3 points, putting it on his defense to stop the Dallas Cowboys. He's still got 3 timeouts left. Stop the Dallas Cowboys with enough time left for the offense to get the ball back in the end zone or a field goal. Showed great confidence in his defense, but Dallas doing a good job in this drive, Dick.
Well, the last drive they had it for over 8 minutes. They didn't score any points, but maintained control. Aikman going long for Harper. Batted down by J.B. Brown, who had a chance for the interception at the 5-yard line.
Well, I admire the Dallas Cowboys for trying these. Some teams call them 9 routes. Some teams call them go patterns. Some teams call them fade patterns. These two guys have been connected all day long.
Third down and 8. Troy Aikman in this winter storm in Dallas. 27 for 40.
Goodness.
1 touchdown, 1 interception.
40 attempts.
I think that's his second high of the year. He threw a few more against Buffalo in the lost second game of the year. Big play. Third down. Goes to Emmett Smith, and he couldn't put on the brakes. That's where Jarvis Williams collided with him. And on a dry field, that's the kind of play where Emmett Smith is able to break and sharply and get you more yards, but not on this field. And he comes up limping a little more than normal this time.
And the gamble that Don Shula took has paid off to this point. They are going to get the ball back.
John Jett to punt. McDuffie clearing a little path for himself down at about the 12-yard line. Off the side of the foot, but it takes a good Dallas roll. Real good. Down to the 7-yard line. 37-yard punt. The Dolphins with the ball, a long way to go, but enough time to do it.
Hi, I'm Steve DeBerg. I want to wish you a happy, what day is it? I almost said Merry Christmas.
He's had a lot on his mind, and he took another take and did it again.
Yeah. I mean,
now the pressure of going 92 yards or less. Actually, he'd have to get the ball down to about the 20 for a field goal that would give Miami the lead. He's 15 for 28 today, 222 yards. He's just a handful of yards away from moving into the number 9 spot in NFL history in yards passing. Ingram, the intended receiver, covered by Kevin Smith.
Dick, it's very obvious that the footing is getting worse and worse and worse. Last drive, we saw the Dallas Cowboys continually throw the circle route to Daryl Johnston. The precipitation is still coming down. They got to get Byers and Jackson on those A and B circles over the middle.
Ingram right. Irving Fryer, who hasn't caught a pass today, is to the left. Underneath, there it goes to Kirby, and Kirby dives across the 15 to the 16. He'll be about 3 yards shy of a first down.
Yeah, they had Byers up in kind of the double wing formation to spread the defense a little bit. And actually, DeBerg had a choice. Here's Byers right here. He runs the crossing route. Kirby does this. And DeBerg has got his choice. Now, that will work because, see, Kirby come out there. See, that will work because they're moving north to south, goal line to goal line.
At third and about 1.5 yards. And they give to Kirby, who will try to follow the ball, and Dallas recovers. Darren Woodson on Kirby's second fumble. Cowboys get it at about the 25.
Dickey makes a great run. Watch the little cutback here. But somebody really popped it. 37 Washington. Really nailed him.
So Kirby, who fumbled in the first quarter in Dallas territory, gives it up at the Miami 25, the 4th Miami turnover.
Woodson got the ball. Washington got the hit.
I think forced fumbles ought to be an official NFL statistic. That's one that's overlooked, and that decides a lot of games. And that would be a big stat for James Washington on that hit. It's Smith. That's his longest run of the day for 10, 11 yards down to the 20. Line of scrimmage was the 30-yard line.
This is an all-time gutty performance by Emmitt Smith. Yesterday we talked to him, and you said to him, hey, Barry Sanders has got a big lead on you. And Emmitt said, well, wait a minute, people can get hurt. I'm going to try to do the best I possibly can, and we wish Barry Sanders the best, but Emmitt Smith is healthy. Barry Sanders hurt his knee. Emmitt Smith wants that rushing title big time.
Despite missing the first 2 games on the holdout, he has 48 yards rushing today, 46 on receiving, and that's on a very, very sore muscle injury. First down, Smith again. And the beauty of Smith, cold weather, rainy weather, hot weather, he just doesn't fumble much.
Yeah.
Timeout. There's one of the timeouts used by Miami. 2:38 left, and the Cowboys deep in Miami territory with a 1-point lead. Well, fumbles, turnovers certainly expected on this field, these conditions. But this might have been a forced fumble Washington hit on a dry field.
That was a great hit by Washington, perfectly timed. And you can also, it appears to me that Washington makes the attempt to make contact with the ball first. He's got that forearm in there. He wanted to get him on the ground, but also try to get that ball loose. And we're talking about Emmitt Smith. We got to combine him along with our friend Lincoln Coleman, and the two of them have combined for, is that just rushing?
That's
rushing and receiving. The Coleman and Emmitt Smith have accounted for 164 yards today. Not bad out of that spot.
Emmitt Smith alone, running back on second down. Fake, throw to Johnston, tackled by Lewis Oliver. Short gain, couple yards, down to the 15-yard line. 11 catches, a career day in that regard for Daryl Johnston, the fullback. Timeout, the second spent by Miami. 2:25 left. Gives us a chance to remind you, coming up this weekend, not only pro football on Sunday, but Saturday. There's one of the great coaches of all time, Eddie Robinson, the Bayou Classic. Grambling and Southern go at it in the Superdome in New Orleans. Be with us at 2 o'clock Eastern Time, 11 on the West Coast for the renewal of the Classic.
Now, his record will never be broken either. Number of wins by a college coach. He and Don Shula will stand alone as the all-timers in most wins at the collegiate level and the professional level.
The people tuning in now and didn't know the weather conditions and seeing that field must wonder what in the world happened to Irving. I know they had a fire in the luxury boxes a couple of weeks ago, but what's happened to the surface here? Of course, unlike the dome stadiums, this one has a hole in the roof.
And it was intentional.
What was it? So that God could watch the Cowboys play. Wasn't that the intent?
But they forgot about asking Mother Nature.
Third down, a short 5 for Aikman, leading 14-13. Dolphins have spent 2 timeouts. They need a stop now. And this throw is caught and dropped. Almost a touchdown for Harper.
Man, they are trying to get Harper the ball, aren't they?
J.B. Brown and Troy, no, it was Troy Vincent this time that was on the coverage.
This is almost arm wrestling down the sideline, and Harper almost makes the catch. Again, the hand fighting between Vincent and Harper, almost a one-handed grab. That would have been a beautiful catch.
Well, Eddie Murray trying to clear a spot for a field goal. He'll kick it from about the 32 yards. This is not easy by any means, considering the footing. If successful, it forces Miami to go all the way for a touchdown to win. 32 yards. And he's wide right. So the Dolphins need only a field goal. They've got 2 minutes, 16 seconds, and 1 timeout in which to do it.
Dick, I think Eddie Murray was so concentrating on his proper footing. I mean, this ball he doesn't push it. That just looked like to me where he aimed. He was more interested in exactly how good his footing was going to be and forgot to line up properly. Life for the Miami Dolphins.
2 teams battling to stay on top of their division. Miami tied with Buffalo 8-2, best records in football. Dallas tied with the Giants at 7-3 in the NFC East. 1 point separates them, and DeBerg from the shotgun. To Kirby, short yardage as Woodson was played a terrific game in the Dallas secondary. Darren Woodson makes another play.
The Cowboys' choice here is to go with the 7 defensive backs. Miami's had great success against that.
And that is the 2-minute timeout. 39-year-old Steve DeBerg, drafted in 1977 in the 10th round by Dallas. So Landry, McCulley, O'Connor, Bill Walsh was his coach at San Francisco, Dan Reeves in Denver, at Tampa, John McKay and Lehman Bennett, Frank Gans, Kansas City, Marty Schottenheimer, Sam White this year, and last at Tampa, now Don Shula. So he's been able to pull a lot of resources into this 39-year-old body, and he's calling upon them now. 2nd and 8, 2 minutes to go. Down by 1. Underneath he goes. Short yardage to Byers. That'll be close to a first down. And with that throw, DeBerg in yardage, and he's the one that doesn't fit on that all-time list. He's just passed Kenny Anderson, number 9 all-time. No timeout. Ingram lets it go through his hands. Mark Ingram had it at about the 44-yard line.
So did Brock Marion. He almost had it too, Dick. Marion is the man underneath in coverage. Watch. Whoop through his hands, and Ingram can't catch it either.
It's 4th and 1. Down for DeBerg and Miami. Myers is drilled. Did he get a yard? Woodson again. What a game.
Important spot here. Important spot.
Did Byers get enough? Yes, he got a yard and a half and a first down. Oh, my. Time, though, working against the Dolphins, who need a field goal from Stoyanovich. Can DeBerg get him downfield? It's caught by Fryer, his first of the day, and he slides into the Dallas bench with a first down at the 41-yard line of Miami.
Now, we saw during commercial Steve DeBerg called 3, maybe even 4 plays for his offense. They've now executed those 4. They get the ball out of bounds, and he looks to the sideline for the next 3. Then there's also the automatic play. So he's got 2 in his head.
They spot it closer to the 43 in Miami territory, but another set of downs for DeBerg, who has only 1 timeout left. Almost intercepted by Leon Lett. It looked as if it was a screen, and was it well set up except for Lett. He may have saved a very big game.
Keith Byers was the intended receiver. You'll see him come into the picture. 41 just across the line of scrimmage. Great quickness by Leon Lett, and it destroys the play.
And Byers had 3 green jerseys with him going downfield.
And nothing but defensive backs in front of him.
1 minute, 3 seconds to go. Dallas 14, Miami 13. Underneath, complete. Keith Jackson close to a first down at the 49 of Dallas.
And the Cowboys now have all the defensive backs they own in the game. 8.
DeBerg from the shotgun. And here for a man who's only been in this offense 2 weeks, really tough to do any ad-lib calls. Caught by McGuffey, who gets out of bounds. A first down. The out of bounds is crucial to stop the clock with 36 seconds. And the ball spotted at about the Miami 48.
Dick,
Dallas 48, excuse me.
Your point about DeBerg handling this, he's part of the new genre of football is the signals from the sideline. So not only learn the plays, but the signals coming from the sideline. DeBerg has handled this all beautifully.
Meanwhile, Stoyanovich, one of the clutch kickers in the game. He's made 9 out of 10 pressure field goals to win or tie games, looking for a chance. 14-13 Dallas. DeBerg incomplete. Keith Jackson at the 40 of Dallas. One timeout is left for the Dolphins.
And they do want to save that for Stoyanovich. He's already missed a 44-yarder, right?
That was the very first attempt of the game when he went sliding on his backside just as he planted and just kicked a little low-line drive into the defense.
Yeah, those numbers just all mean nothing today. They need about 25 yards, Dick.
2nd and 10. Screen to Byers. Byers vaults to about the 30-yard line, and timeout is going to be called by DeBerg. So they'll use an incomplete pass to stop the clock should they get close enough for Stoyanovich. That is not enough for a first down. It'll bring up about 3rd and 1.5 as we try to maybe 2. 3rd and 2. Well, I don't know. They're going to measure now.
Where we got it here? About the 36-yard line. I'm having trouble figuring it out. It's pretty well covered.
Well, let's see. 45, 40, 30, 36.
Okay.
Is that the 39?
Try from this end. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, about the 37-yard line, 38-yard line, I believe.
And it's not enough for the first down, as you saw, and brings up 3rd down. So that would be almost impossible. Stoyanovich, in good conditions, has kicked a 59 and a 58-yard field goal. But not on a field that offers no footing.
Yeah, I don't think Don Shula is going to get that guy that did this to him in New England a number of years ago come out and sweep away all the snow and give the kicker a chance to win the game.
Now, no timeout, so DeBerg is shackled by that condition and has 21 seconds. Try to hit someone for a first down deep. This is the 11th play of the drive. To Byers. Gets a block. Kick out of bounds.
What a play.
And has Byers delivered big for Miami today. And that is out of bounds at about the 23-yard line.
Watch what
play.
Dick, watch what happens. Bates 40 tries to hold Byers up. Byers runs right over Billy Bates, and then Bates can't catch him. What a huge play. The fullbacks today for both sides have been the key factor.
And this has become a memorable Thanksgiving Day game. Will it go in the win column to Dallas or Miami? Stoyanovich will decide it as he will try this field goal, which will be 40 yards. 40 yards. Doug Peterson to hold. Block. The Cowboys will... Bewildered, dazed, Jimmy Johnson leaving the field. The victory so close to be stolen, to be ripped away from the Dallas Cowboys. And now it's time for the Hager wrinkle-free cotton super play of the game. Dallas had it won after the blocked field goal by Jimmy Jones until this super play of the game. Jones, 97, gets a hand on it and blocks it. If no one touches it, Dallas wins. Look, they're saying, stay away from it, stay away from it. But Leon Lett comes in, kicks it free, and Miami covers. Stoyanovich kicks the 25-yard field goal, and the Dolphins go home with a 16-14 win. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. This has been NBC Sports coverage of the National Football League.